my channel, Little Red Dot. That's me, where I was just saying I don't take anything too seriously, like the fact that I just forgot to plug my microphone in. So, no big deal. So here we are. We are here today to play an original game that I have put together, a 4-part series that's going to happen right now through the month of October, every Wednesday night. Thank you for those bits out there. Thank you, thank you. That may mean that we actually have some donations, which I'll talk about here in a second, and ways that you can actually affect the game. But before we hop into that, I hope you're here because you love Anchorman. The movie and the movies, Anchorman movies, are a huge part of my sense of humor and something that I just love dearly. So, if you're here, I hope it's because you share the same passion, or maybe you just want to see us be ridiculous, which is what my channel's all about. We don't play terribly serious tabletops here. I do that on a lot of other people's channels. I try to keep my channel lighthearted, and I hope you're in stitches by the end of it, which is really all I want, because laughter is, I don't know, it's the best medicine. At least that's what my grandma told me. Oh, thank you for that subscription. There's some kitty kisses for you. Yeah, we're going to hop kind of right into this. So I introduced myself, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about the game we are playing specifically today. But I want to go around and introduce you to these awesome people who decided to play this ridiculous game with me, really. So, let's start. I'm going to just go around my camera. To my right is James. James, do us a favor. Tell us who you are.
Yeah.
Maybe why you're excited and who your character is.
My name is James Stiver. I am the DM for Loot and Dagger, and that's the only claim to nerd fame I have out here.
What is Loot and Dagger, James?
Loot and Dagger is an actual play Dungeons & Dragons podcast that I actually play with Adam Jones that you'll get to later. But that's what we do. Yeah, we record ourselves playing Dungeons & Dragons. For some reason, we feel like the internet should listen to it.
It's great.
Yeah. That's what we do.
He's downplaying it being humble.
It's okay. I'll be playing Dallas Jackson, the weatherman for this what is it? WCAU Channel 10 weatherman.
Awesome. Dallas Jackson, which I'm sure we're going to learn a lot about Dallas Jackson here in just a second. But as we continue, around my screen, next up is Jack, buddy. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm super excited for this game. I do tabletop stuff on like Tuesdays and Thursdays on various channels and things like that. So I've played a lot of different tabletop RPGs, but this is my first time doing Fate, and I'm real excited to give it a try. Love Anchorman, and I am playing the illustrious and charismatic and not at all angry old man, Mr. King, who is the director of our lovely establishment and news crew.
This is a true story. Well, I'm excited. I did not expect the mustache, I have to be honest. I mean, you guys all told me you were coming with potential mustaches to the table, which in the writing of this game, you actually have bonuses to your character. Your mustache acts a little bit like a charisma booster, basically, in the world of Anchorman. So mustache means extra bonuses to the willpower and your charisma. For those of you out there, I know the internet's a smidge choppy. Sometimes it like picks up and smooths out as the stream goes along. Comcast likes to throttle my internet. Yay! So this is about the time they like to do that. So stick with us if it gets a bit slow. I can tell that it's dragging and lagging a little. I'm going to try to close out some panes here and see if I can't make that better on all of you. Alright, so next up, right down the line, is somebody that is brand new to this channel that actually I am so thrilled to get to game with. Fuzzy, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Yes, I'm good. I'm really bad at introductions. Whenever anybody goes, tell me about yourself, I'm just like, But yeah, hi, I'm Fuzzy. I stream a lot of games and do a lot of TTRPG stuff, and I'm probably high on hairspray fumes right now. I'm sleep deprived. I've inhaled far too much hairspray, and I've got a very large, very strong coffee in front of me. Yeah.
Well, I'm so excited you decided to do this. I know it's like wee hours of the morning at your time, so let's just get some hype. Let's get some hype and chat for Fuzzy being here at, ridiculous hours to play Anchorman with us. It means a lot. Next, right on down the line is Mr. Adam Jones, another friend here from my, Atlanta fam. How are you?
I am doing wonderfully, thank you. And yourself?
I'm great. I'm so excited to launch this. And you know what? Tomorrow at 11:45, I roll out for a 5-day vacation. Thank you for asking, Mr. Adam Jones, the gentleman of my life.
That's so wonderful. Thank you. Now, as you mentioned, my name is Adam Jones. I am here from the Loot and Dagger podcast that is run by Mr. James Stiver over in the other window. And I've got to say, that's the first time I've ever seen him in a blazer. And I've always said that he would look good in one. And I'm glad to know that, as usual, I was right. I know that I'm a little bit underdressed. I'm looking at the window. The delivery man is coming on his way with the rest of my outfits.
We get a live costume change. I'm so excited.
And not only am I with James in the Loot and Dagger podcast, very soon I will be joining the North by Northwest podcast. So
it's a true story. We stole you. I stole you.
Yes. Well, how could you not?
I know. Yeah.
Like another channel stealing an anchor.
What gas? I feel an alleyway brawl.
Are we going into character introductions now?
Yeah, you can go ahead. Just tell us kind of like who your character is and what role he plays, and then we're gonna get to know all about you and your morning routine here in just a second.
Fantastic. I'm going to be playing Matthias Gildenthorne. He's going to be the lead writer for the network. Well, for the news station. For this news station, correct. Awesome. And your name. So just so you know, your name was so long. In fact, I feel bad. I had to minimize your font smaller than everybody else's just to get it fit in the black box. Once the last name came in. Well, I was like, I could just call him Matthias, but I feel like his character really deserves his full name. And last but certainly not least, somebody that is frequent to this channel, who is one of my besties in the whole world, and doesn't usually have a gold tooth, Mr. Rimley Farr.
Hey everyone, it's me, Rim. I sound kind of weird because of this giant tooth in my mouth, but I'm making it work. I'm not on any kind of podcast, but I do write D&D adventures for 5th edition. I do commission work. And my character's name is Old Mr. Bernie. He's about 75 years old. He is the camera guy and news van driver for WCAU Channel 10. Hey, when you get old, it happens.
It kind of works because, like, you've got that kind of whole loose false teeth voice going on.
There you go. I'm sure gonna amp it up and get older when it.
A teeth falling down.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys again for coming out. I can't believe I wrangled these cool people all in one place to play this silly game with me. So speaking of this silly game, let me talk about it. So we're going to be I've built this game around Fate Core. If you do not know about Fate Core, it is one of my absolute favorite tabletops because it allows you to kind of put any flavor you want on it, right? So I always have crazy, weird ideas, and being able to add my flavor is really, really helpful. So we'll be using Fate Core. If you haven't checked it out, it is put out by Evil Hat Productions. You should go check them out. They put out a very transparent message today that I think everybody should go read about the state of their business and how they are having to cut back on the amount of new game releases. So they've got a lot of cool stuff coming up that they are going to keep released this year, but a lot of things that had to go the wayside. So when you go support them, like actually go buy a book direct from them so you can make sure that the company not that only that I love, but that other people adore, stay in business. If you play Scum and Villainy, that's Evil Hat. So lots of cool people. So please go support them and help them out. Next up, you have to know, like I said earlier, this is based on one of my absolute favorite movies. That being said, that means that there's a lot of content that is copyrighted. So this game and the way I'm building this is more based in a very 70s style setting, and really is built off the single phrase of the Anchorman reigning supreme. So in this world and in the way I'm building this, it simply means at its base is not that I am trying to relive the Anchorman movie, but that we are using the style and the setting of the Anchorman movies to be able to build really anything you want with it. So for this one, I chose to do, obviously, a production crew. It looks like Matthias will be back with us here in a second. Yeah, I decided to go with the production crew because I wanted to show kind of the opposite side of the movies, which is what we're going to get into here in just a second. But that being said, because of copyright, I will not be using original names from the movie, so you'll hear me parody quite a lot. This whole thing is really set in terms of parody, so don't expect to hear the names you're hoping to hear. This is not about them. It's not even set in the same city. So I'm ready to hop right into this because I think the rest of the crew is tired of hearing me talk. I'm tired of hearing me talk. So let's get started. But we can't just get started. We have to, put a little funk on it because nothing's complete without a little funk. So there was a time before cable, when the local anchorman reigned supreme. That time is 1975. A time when people believe everything they hear on TV. An age when the 6 o'clock news is a staple in maintaining peace and tranquility in a city. Now, no doubt you've heard of the famous anchorman Don Turgundy and his co-anchor Vanessa Corningrock. Their duo gender news-telling abilities quickly became the talk of news stations across the country. They are considered gods among men, paving the way for a new age of news anchors. And one station in particular, Channel 10, WCAU, out of Philadelphia, took up the call to arms and followed in their suit. But today's story is not about the anchormen of WCAU, oh no. This story turns the camera on those most often found behind it, the production team. Without them, the anchormen are unlit, unkempt, undirected, unfilmed, and unworded. Without the production team, the anchormen and women are merely mortal. The camera pans over the city of Philadelphia, showing a very industrial city covered in smog. It is the 70s, of course. Only months after the Vietnam War has ended. Things have settled in terms of troops being sent home, but the city is finally finding a moment of rest and peace. The news has been, of course, over the last few years, a major, important part of deciphering information to the public. And as the camera pans over the city of Philadelphia, it begins to zoom in on one particular building. It is the building that Mr. Bernie lives in. Now, Mr. Bernie, where does Mr. Bernie live, actually, Rim? Talk to me about Mr. Bernie's morning routine.
Okay, well, see, his little alarm clock goes off. Oh, hang on, I'm thinking the same thing. Okay, Mr. Bernie's alarm clock goes off, and he, stretches, slaps it, leans up. Music kicks in, probably some Lean On Me. Just not from a radio, it just plays.
Sure.
And it's this very Better Homes and Garden style. He's 75. He's had lots of time to, prep up his style. It's like this perfect, it's straight out of a magazine. White picket fence around the edges. He goes to the kitchen. Breakfast is already made. He doesn't live with anybody, but it's there. It just happens to be made already. He's truly just living that good life.
Yeah.
He pets his dog Biscuit. Pets his snake, Elmira Parker. They're both just swell pets. And as he steps out into the smog-ridden air, he's reminded it's time to go to work as he steps into the old news van.
I have to know. Tell me about this news van.
Okay. Well, you see, this news van is actually an Army surplus van kind of truck. He's an older fella. See, he used to be like a World War I valet in the military. So he's like really one of the few people licensed to drive this vehicle in Philadelphia. It is camouflaged, not with typical camouflage paintings, but with graffiti, posters of new funk bands, just so that it can really blend in where it needs to go. So he hops in there, kicks it up a notch, definitely stick shift, and sets off immediately into morning rush hour traffic, where he's going to be stuck for a good hour or so.
Oh, I'm guessing he turns the radio up.
Oh yeah, he cranks the radio up. And he starts receiving probably some radio communications from like Eastern Russia, because it's that good radio.
Yeah, sure. It's like picking up. It's like a CB almost. God. Oh, and he has joined us.
Nice cravat.
Yeah,
thank you
killing
so much. I
it.
apologize for my brief absence.
I love it. So as the camera pans over Philadelphia, it zooms into this apartment, follows Mr. Bernie in, out, and down to this rickety van as it takes off. And as his van hits that first moment of morning traffic and halts, the camera zooms forward and back up into the air, moving to its next victim as we slowly bring the production crew together. Next up is actually our director. Talk to me about Mr. King and what his morning routine looks like.
So Mr. King is kind of an older man. No one really knows how old he is because no one knows when his birthday is or when he was born, anything like that. But he's estimated probably somewhere in his 50s. And he gets up every morning, goes through the same routine. He walks past his photographs of different famous baseball players and such from like the 50s and 60s. Heads out his front door, picks up the newspaper, goes back inside, makes some coffee, sits at his table for a little bit and sips on his straight black coffee. No sugar, no nothing like that. Reads his morning paper, and then ultimately makes his way down to the bus stop where he takes the local, just the normal city bus, not being able to drive himself, heading towards his place of work, which is our studio.
Well. So did you say you walked to the studio?
Oh no, he takes the bus.
The bus. Oh. So the bus system in Philadelphia was kind of functioning at that time, but it takes you a while. Traffic once again, and once you lock yourself into traffic, the camera again zooms forward, picking up its next morning routine, which is hard to make out for the amount of hairspray aerosol in the air. But as it passes into the bathroom, it follows our lovely Jennifer. Right? Did I get it right, Jennifer? Yeah, Jennifer. What does your morning routine look like, Jennifer?
Okay, so basically Jennifer sort of like, her eyes snap open and she immediately just reaches over and cold cream all over the face, staggers into the bathroom, sort of like steam ensues. She staggers back out again, cigarette holder still in her mouth, just like, opens the fridge, brings out a bottle of tequila and just...
Wow.
And then she's just there, like, just... She staggers out of the house, hails a taxi. Taxi! Come get you back! And, there's also about 50 million cats, but, it's just so many cats.
And our third victim makes their way into the traffic. Do you walk or bus? How close do you think you are to the station?
Oh, Jennifer gets the taxi. She doesn't. Yeah, she doesn't do public transport.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you rush out, wave down a cab. Yeah, and as you hop into the cab, the funkiest of music begins to play. As we rein in now on the morning routine of our weather man, in fact, who is not necessarily in terms of the Anchorman hierarchical scale at the tippity top, but he's a good dude. Tell us a little bit about Dallas's morning routine.
So I imagine the camera pans over to the top of the rooftop building of the apartment that he lives in. And he's already there, like legs crossed with like no shirt on, but he does have this cheesy like a lightning bolt necklace, and he's has his like arms out like he's meditating.
Oh no.
And he's just feeling the weather essentially.
He's like a hippie weatherman.
Yeah. And
yeah.
And a little bird starts singing to him, and he's like, "Oh, Tanya, what do you speak of the weather today? What will it be?"
Yeah, and it's like,
yes. Oh. And he takes a note and he writes it down. All right then. And from there, he puts on all of his gear, is like his blazer and his cheesy button-up shirt is right there next to him. Yeah. And he stands up. He does a few like stretches to get ready for the day, and he puts all that on, and he walks down through his apartment and onto the street where he walks to work.
And he walks the whole way, probably checking the weather as he goes.
Oh yeah, like occasionally, like putting his licking his finger, or putting it out into the weather, like, yeah. Oh, I feel it today. I feel it.
Well, in fact, on your walk down the sidewalk, you pass the crickety old van, the taxi cab, the bus, and the stoop of another living facility, which is the home to Matthias, in fact. Matthias, what is your morning routine?
The old antique analog alarm clock begins to ring, and I awaken gently in my silk sheets and silk pajamas. As I get up, travel across my sparsely decorated apartment to my kitchen, where I fix myself some eggs and toast, coffee and orange juice, and read the morning paper. I finish the food, carry the paper with me, and walk the very short walk to work, barely paying attention to anyone or anything else around me.
Do you take anything with you? Do you travel with your typewriter?
Yes. Thank you. I do have a portable typewriter, so it would make sense to keep it with me.
I was about to say, I want to make sure, I didn't know if you left it at the station or if that was something you carried with you.
No, I would absolutely carry it with me. So, yes, I'll have a folded newspaper in one hand, and I'll be carrying the typewriter.
Typewriter in the other. And you look, dapper, really, in your own rightful way, as you stroll down the street. Now, first, actually, to the building is Mr. King. He is the director of the news station and would always be first there to open doors. Mr. King, when you arrive at the station, what does your routine look like? Now, you know, unfortunately, that the production crew has to be there at 6 a.m., that the Anchormen are not due in until 9.
Yeah, so Mr. King would get to the building, he'd kind of fumble around for his keys and find them, and kind of work the lock open on the door, go inside and make his way kind of to where his office is, stopping along the way to make yet another pot of very dark, very strong coffee. Once he kind of starts the pot, he heads into his office where he promptly closes the door with a slam and goes and sits at his desk, opens his newspaper yet again, and reads his paper, expecting to be left alone for at least 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah. Now, this news station is, I would say, definitely top of the line. It's not the largest news station in town. We know that to be fact, because you guys are kind of second tier, I guess you could say. But the news station has an open top floor, which is where the offices reside, that pretty much look down over a centralized facility where all of the desks are, the recording equipment, and a booth that overlooks it from the opposite side. And as the rest of you walk in, dawdle in, you see one another strolling in your usual. You can smell fresh coffee as you wander into the building for your morning routine. And I'll say probably next would be our taxi cab and our van. But of course, I'm guessing Mr. Bernie probably comes in the back where the lot is.
Oh, yeah. He pulls into the back where the lot's at. He kind of, hey, morning, everybody. Just kind of wanders on in there like so. And he sets up, he gets all the cameras out ready. He starts setting them all up for the anchors would be, because he's also the camera guy.
True.
On scene and live in the audience, and not in the station. It's one of those nice little 3 camera setups, close up for anchor, close up for co-anchor, and then the wide establishment shot. So he starts, getting all of that stuff as well. And then with that being said and done, he goes and he just sits in the driver's seat of the van until it's time to do something.
Okay, you guys watch, Mr. Bernie, the crazy man, comes in and does his thing. So, talk to me about where everybody else goes when you enter the building, because I'm interested to know what your routine looks like so we can see how, in fact, you cross paths.
Well, Jennifer immediately heads to the wardrobe department, checks that everything's all right, and then,
You bump into the intern along the way, who is a very, somewhat jaded teenager, very much part of the hippie culture movement, the flower power child, and is clearly here because her parents made her get a job before school started. She looks pissed to be here, and she's like pushing stuff around.
Is that Paisley?
And
with polka dots.
Like, yeah.
Oh, I think I can feel a hangover coming on. Dear, no. No, dear, no.
You drink in front of her. She looks at you and continues like pouring cups of coffee. As she walks back into like the major area of the station to go probably deliver coffee to the desk of what will soon be the incoming Anchorman.
Where's my cup of tea? I asked for tea.
It's in the wardrobe room.
Did you actually put milk in it this time?
No. Ew. Who drinks milk in their tea? And she like rounds the corner and ignores you.
Yeah, Jennifer's just like, children these days.
Yeah. So what about, I guess the other two people are on foot. It's funny, actually. Mr. Guildenstern, you walk actually behind Dallas the whole way, unbeknownst that he's even there.
Mm. And if I do happen to notice him, I will ignore him completely.
It's an awkward walk to the station.
Yeah, he's and by the way, Dallas is saying, "Hey, what's up? How's it going?" Like he's saying that to everyone, whether he knows them or not. He even turns around and he's trying to make a good impression because he's pretty new, I think, at the station. So he's even like any of the production crew, he's going to be extra nice to. So he even turns over to Matthias and is like, "Hey, man, how are you?" Oh, all right. Right on. And he just keeps walking. He'll walk right into the station.
The station.
Open the doors up all dramatically. Hey, everybody. Are we ready for the news? Everybody?
The intern gives you the finger.
All right.
Over her shoulder as she's like setting coffee on the like desk, the filming desk area. You're early. In fact, is it usual for you to be so early? Are you always early?
Yeah, he's pretty ambitious. Like,
I see.
To make a really good impression. He wants to be the best weatherman than Channel 10 has ever seen. In order to do that, he needs to get a good start.
And of course, last but certainly not least, Mr. Guildenstern kind of walks through the door as well. And you see the intern give the middle finger, all of the usual happenings.
I will crack a slight grin at the side of the middle finger and proceed wordlessly to my office and pick up the piles of what I assume are late writing assignments from the other writers and journalists in the office.
Yeah, they're not even here yet.
And begin organizing as best as I can to make something useful out of the dross that I am given.
Yeah, you hear from kind of behind you, somebody's already typing into the teleprompter trying to get things kind of prepared for the day.
And who is that?
Oh, that's Billy.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm not used to initiative around here.
Yeah. Billy's there.
Note of Billy.
Yeah, you take note of Billy. Billy's pretty quiet, all in all. But he's also an intern, but he's obviously part of the writing team and the marketing team, the creative side of the station. And he's trying to get notes in, but not all of the news is ready to be reported. And he kind of eyeballs you and tries not to make eye contact, afraid he might be in trouble for something, and he continues clicking away into the prompter screen, preparing for the evening. And it's actually in a moment of silence as everybody kind of begins their day that you hear the intern let out a scream worthy of a B-rated horror film, as she just wails out, rattling the glass walls in your office, Mr. Director.
Okay, yeah, he'll kind of get up with a sigh, throwing down the newspaper, and kind of just open the door like a crack and just go, "Who the heck is making all that racket? You know how I feel about noise."
She goes, "Oh my god, they stole the Anchormen!"
And his eyes get like really wide. And for a moment, his mind just like flashes back to his time in the Korean War. And he probably just like grabs her and like pushes her back against the wall and goes, "Now look at me. This is no joking matter. I want you to think about what you just said. And if it's true, you say it again. And if it's not, you get out of my station."
She's like, look! And she points to the spot where the lead anchor always sits. The lead anchor for our news station here at Channel 10 is, of course, Dick Norton. Because he would be called Dick. Dick Norton is very famous here in Philadelphia, and he, right in front of his desk, seems to be a note. I say unfolded. Looks like it was folded three-way, and when she opened it, kind of dropped it, and it lays there partially closed.
Okay, yeah, he will reach down, just kind of like dropping her completely on the floor.
Yeah.
Reach down and just scoop up the note and read it.
Okay. It's actually, you have a copy of it. When you open it up, it seems to be one of those very, very 70s style serial killer clips from a magazine notes. I don't know any other way to put it. And it looks like they have clips from newspapers and different clippings and all kinds of stuff. And it reads, it should be in your notes if you can't see it, and I'm about to bring it up on screen. I think you guys just got hold of it there. But it says, "We have your Anchormen." Is the first line. Hang on, I'm going to pull it up bigger on the screen so I can actually read it. "Attempts to save them are futile. Now there will be no more 6 p.m. news. The Boogie Oogie Oogie Man."
Bernie!
I'm going to make my way out of the office to see what all the commotion's about.
Bernie! Someone get Bernie out of his damn van.
Yeah.
What is it that you're shouting about now, old man?
You know, if this wasn't more serious than the whole Vietnam War, I might have punched you in the face right now. But I need everyone in this crew to get together now.
Okay.
Good luck with that.
Okay. All right.
I just kind of walk over, like, what's going on?
And is everyone
What's
here?
happening?
Jennifer's still in the wardrobe department having a well-earned aperitif.
I was about to say, Jennifer, you hear the scream, not really concerned about it, but it's not until the intern, the sobbing intern, runs past you. And she's like, "Ah!" And she bolts out the back door where the parking lot is, and you hear the door slam.
I guess it's Bernie C, the intern.
Yeah, oh, yeah, you'll see her as she bolts out, mascara draining down her face.
Excuse me, little lady. What seems to be on the hubbub with the fountain dripping down your face right now?
They stole the Anchorman. She's like, panicked.
They do what now? They took old little Dickie Norton?
They stole the Anchorman.
Oh. Oh, I gotta go talk to the director. I got to head on inside. Thank you, ma'am.
If you head through the wardrobe department, I'm going to be like, wait, what's happening?
Yeah, here comes Mr. Bernie, quickly in pace.
I've never seen you move quickly before.
It's old Dickie Norton. They hoisted him right on that westbound flight to Nowhere City. Someone snatched him. He just keeps running on by.
What did he say?
What did he say?
Bernie!
They snatched him right when he took him on out of here right now.
You may want to come out and bring the breakfast booze.
Bring the breakfast booze.
Oh, yes, I can, yes. Tipple anyone?
And
Steady your nerves?
as you all enter the kind of main semicircle space that is the recording room here at the station, you circle around the desk, and the letter lays open for all to see. Daunting in nature. Now, actually, Mr. King and Mr. Bernie, I'm going to have both of you roll a lore roll.
Right.
And I have good reason for that. So roll me a lore. Add a 4. Okay, this was a difficulty of a +2, so that's actually pretty good. Now, in Fate, everybody, most of the time, you don't make a lot of just random rolls. Rolls in Fate are really meant to be based on anytime you come in conflict with something or you're attempting to do something. But in this case, it ties directly into their backstory, so I had them roll for it. At both a 4 and a 3, both of you remember the Great Blackout of the late 50s. You remember when the city went dark and nobody got the 6 p.m. news. The rioting happened first, and then the breaking in of homes of the innocent. The city of Philadelphia went into mass chaos without the 6 p.m. news.
Oh dear, this doesn't sound good. If we can't get those old weathermen back, it's gonna be another just great big debacle like in the 50s when we couldn't get the 6 o'clock news going in. Oh, somebody hold me. Somebody just hold me.
We need to establish precisely how large this threat is. Now, we know they've taken our Anchorman. Have they taken every Anchorman in the city?
What does that matter to us? What matters to us is that if these news doesn't go on at 6 p.m., well, the last time this happened, they still haven't figured out the death count. They're still missing people.
We need to determine the size of the threat. If it's just enough people to take our Anchormen, that's one thing. But if we're dealing with enough people that have taken everyone, that's a much larger threat we'll have to deal with.
Dallas is going to hold old Mr. Bernie. There.
Thank you. Thank you, Dallas.
Mr. Bernie.
Thank you so much.
Are we sure this isn't just a cruel prank?
I know little Dickie Norton, he wouldn't do anything like this to old Mr. Bernie. He wouldn't do that.
And more importantly, Dallas, you know that we have a co-anchor here, Chloe Baxter, who is the station's female co-anchor, taking the diversity route the new station has. And there's a high probability that she might be sleeping with you.
Well, you never know with Dallas Jackson.
You never know with Dallas Jackson. And Hussy. But you know that it is not Chloe's MO not to show up. Yeah, it seems odd that the entire news team was taken.
All right.
But you were not.
I don't understand. They took the news, but not the weatherman?
Yes, they took the news. You know, the important ones.
Dallas, let me explain to you something.
My God.
I know you're new, son. Let me explain to you how things work around here. At the top, you have these Anchormen. They're like gods. It's the mountain of Olympus and Zeus and all these deities and Athena.
I'm with you so far.
You are more like, well, the weatherman's like the little farmer in the valley looking up at Olympus thinking, I could climb that someday, but you can't.
This reminds me of the time that the entire BBC news crew was abducted. Although it turns out they just got very drunk and were having an orgy in the basement.
Which is my next point. Are we sure they just didn't get really drunk at one of their news parties and just decided this would be really fun?
Where do they usually have...
Actually,
I'll go and check the archives. I'll go and check the archives. I'll be right back. They might be naked.
I'll be right back.
No, I'll be right back.
I'll be right
We'll
back.
both be right back.
You both go.
And in this
Can I stay?
and this very classic 70s the screen shifts and changes, watching each of you and piecing you off into the 4 individual screens. But when you say that, it is actually Dallas. When you say what were they doing? You remember I got wasted this weekend. Wasted at Dickie's house.
Wow. I remember that because they invited me this time instead of just talking.
I drove you there. I drove you to it.
I woke up in your van.
Yes, you did. So did I. I didn't even drink.
Now, usually the production crew does not get an invitation to old Dickie's house, but the last you saw was Saturday night. It is Monday morning. It is, in fact, it was 6 a.m. when all of you walked through the door, 12 hours before the 6 p.m. news. And it's now about 6:45.
We don't have time for this.
We don't have time for this.
We need someone to make a plan. I'm going to check Chloe's room.
You go to Chloe's dressing room.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good plan. Now, I feel like Mr. Guildenstern here had a plan. Am I crazy? I feel like he was plotting something.
Yes, there was definitely something I was heading to do.
Oh.
No, you're good. We do the cutscene, so we watch as the weatherman leaves on his screen off and gets to Chloe's door. There's a large sign on it. It has her name and a big star. And you creak it open. It smells of her perfume. And as you open the door, it cuts actually to the footsteps of Mr. Guildenstern walking away.
I'm going to go to my office and go to the telephone and dial up one of the other disaffected writers from one of the other news stations that I've contacted with.
So there is another very grumpy writer that works for, let's see, which station does this one work for? Do you have a preference which station you want to call? Are you calling a radio station, a newspaper, or another channel?
Another channel.
The only other channel that would have as much clout as you would be KYW I cannot make that up, TV.
Okay.
Which is channel 3. So if you're looking for somebody of similar clout, and on your same scale, and they have, in fact, this is the CBS station, they have a female, actually, writer. They, too, have diversified in the 70s, and she is crotchety.
Nice. That's how I like them.
Yeah, she's older, and crotchety, and she hates her job. She used to be a secretary, and now she's a copywriter.
All right. I'm going to dial her up. What's her name?
Her name is Glinda.
Glinda. Excellent.
Yeah. You dial up Glinda. The phone rings for a while. It is really early. And just when you think that you're going to have to give up, she picks up and goes, "What?"
Beautiful morning to you, Glenda. It's Matthias. Tell me, is there anything peculiar going on in your newsroom today?
She doesn't even say anything. You just hear her, like, put the phone down and, like, rustle around. Oh, my bag. She opens the door. "Hey! What's going on down there?" And somebody goes, "Oh, the Anchormen are gone!" And she closes the door and comes back to the phone and says, "Looks like somebody stole the shitheads."
I see. Well, that was all. Anything I can do for you, Glenda? We'll go out for a drink soon.
"I'd like that." Click.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will hang up and go back to the large room, the meeting area.
All the jokes in chat. Oh, chat, you're killing me. And so you walk back. It does seem like things have kind of settled down, but only the kind of 5 of you and the 1 intern found the letter. More people are beginning to come into the news station. The rest of the wardrobe team, the rest of the production crew, the soundboard operators, and a few of the other stage managers for the set are beginning to pile in to begin duties for the day. Nobody knows but, like I said, all of you. And as you round the corner, again following your feet, we meet the feet of our director. What did you exactly go do?
As soon as other people begin to arrive, Mr. King is going to quickly kind of tell whoever he can on the production team first, keep this quiet. We don't want to start a panic. And then he's going to go over to whoever else might matter at this studio. Okay. All these other people coming in and start. He basically is going to set up like an excuse to them saying like that we're going on like a road trip today. We're going to go film at like a site. And so that's why the anchors aren't here.
Okay, cool. Everybody's like, they kind of shrug it off. But it is something in your mind that you remember, something important about today. Oh yeah, the producer's stopping by.
Do we know what time that's supposed to be?
Yeah, he's supposed to be coming by at 9. So it's a few hours from now, in terms of like when he'll be here. It's much too early for the producer to show, but he'll be here around 9 o'clock. The expectation was to meet and converse with the Anchormen, because of course they arrive at 9. So things are going normally. Nobody but all of you know. You seem to have played it off pretty well. What does, let's see, what does old Mr. Bernie do? You ran back to your van?
He's going to look at the note.
Oh, okay.
Then look at his cameras. Then look at the note. Back at the cameras, back in the recording equipment. And then you see like, oh my Lord, I think I just figured it out. Then he runs up to one of the boom mics.
Okay.
Boogie, oogie, oogie, man. It's BOOM. Guys, and he points at the boom mic. I think it's got something to do with our recording equipment.
Mr. Bernie tries to put it all together. A few of the like lower tier electricians like look at you. Somebody that's messing says, "Hey, the guy that clearly doesn't have it. Don't touch that old man."
Don't hang. I'm going to invoke one of my stunts.
Mm-hmm.
Just a sweet old man.
Just a sweet old man. All right, so you use a fate point to do it, and the guy sitting next to him actually smacks him and goes, "Dude, he's just an old man." And he goes, "Oh yeah," and the two of them go, "Sorry, Mr. Bernie," like okay. In tandem.
I'm taking this boom mic. I just start tracking. The whole thing's still on a stand behind me.
You take the boom mic with you. It begins to make ruckus. One of them has to reach over and like take down the slider to turn it off because it was live. And as we watch you drag it down the hallway, we pass, and the camera stops at the weatherman, who is kicking open the door to his gentlemanly lover's, or her gentlewomanly lover dressing room.
Right. It's Chloe Baxter, right?
Chloe Baxter.
Like, yeah. Like, Chloe, please tell me you're here. Please. And he opens the door wide. And he's looking around, because you would know, like, his morning routine would probably be to come in and just, like, sneak in some kind of,
some nookie, some afternoon delight.
Some afternoon delight. So he's kind of hovering. He's like, my God, where could she be?
Yeah, as you burst in the room, like I said, her perfume, like, wafts. Her clothes, I don't know if Jennifer has laid them out yet, but at least what she wore last week. No, not yet. So these would be last week's pieces that needed to be put away or still hanging. Her makeup lays out untouched. Everything is extremely clean.
Clean.
And she has roses in the corner. You didn't send those roses.
My God. Whoever took her put these roses here. I'd like to investigate, I guess, around. I don't really have like a good investigate skill, but I'd like to like look around to see if there's any sign of like someone has taken her physically or something. You know, like...
Sure. Yeah, go ahead. You can either add it if you want to, the investigation too. So one of the great things about Fate, I think I was telling everybody, is that you build your character as you play, because oftentimes you come to the table and don't exactly know, at least I feel like, exactly what a character is. And so Fate allows you to kind of build and add things as you go, if you have blank holes in your character sheet. So in this case, if you don't have investigate, you can definitely take it as a average or fair skill, if you would like. Okay. And roll that up for me, sir.
All right. Well, I went in and took it as like an average then.
Perfect.
And
you do investigate the weather on a day-to-day basis with your bird friend.
Exactly. So I was like, yeah, we'll do that. So see me.
All right. At a 1. At a 1, you don't find a whole lot. You continue to get distracted. What you do find is a card in the flowers.
What is this card? He's gonna open up the card.
It says, "To my Snooky Nookie."
Snooky Nookies.
And it's it's simply signed. It's simply signed DN.
He's gonna take a moment. And probably like in the timeline when Mr. King was like, now let's not make this a big deal. He goes, she's gone. She's gone. And then he's just gonna take the note and shove it in his pocket and storm out.
Yeah, that song. Oh, she's gone. And believe it, she's gone. And it starts playing like behind you as you like burst out into the hallway and your dramatic temper tantrum.
Right, I'm having a dramatic tantrum now, and I'm.
Yeah.
Bernie, look at this note.
Well, let me go. Hold on, let me bring it over here.
Who's this Snooky asshole who wrote this note?
The Snooky asshole. Maybe this old Snooky Nookie works with the Boogie Oogie man, and we can just get them and. Well, we gotta take a lookie, and I put the notes together.
Makes sense, Bernie. She's gone.
Oh.
So the full name was like Snooky Nookie.
So it said, for you, my Snooky Ookie. Okay. And it was signed. It's signed D.N.
D.N.
Snooky Ookie was S.O. significant other.
Are you gonna try?
Hey.
It's like a bad 70s cop drama as you're like piecing these letters together. That makes me want to have music.
D.N. Do you know what the D.N. could be?
He must have a plan.
Writers, he knows what letters do. He's got a whole machine covered in letters. We can look at it.
I'm going to storm into the writers, into Matthias's office and throw the note at his desk. A clue. I found it.
Right as he's hanging up the phone.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, let me
look at that.
Look at it. Look at it.
That demon scratch.
Damn it, damn it. Heathen from the devil hell.
I will read the notes.
Picks it up. It says the same thing. For my Snooky Ookie, signed D.N.
Mm-hmm. This is not a clue.
What?
What do you mean it's not a clue? You just slam both hands down on the desk?
Yeah, what do you mean you're not on the counter?
I mean that your lady friend is getting the ookie schnookie from Dick Norton.
You.
And it tosses the card at the Weatherman.
He like pinks you in the chest.
It just like he doesn't even try to catch it. It just falls to the ground. He just stares at it.
Yeah, it's that slow motion moment as we watch the paper. When it hits the ground, it lets out that like weight falls out of the room.
Oh. All right then. Well, I guess. Yeah.
It's okay.
Screw her.
It's okay. Yeah, Dennis, it's okay. I mean,
Fine, we can leave that to Dick.
Yes.
And I'll walk out of the office.
I'm gonna follow Matthias.
All right, you follow Matthias out. I'm guessing Mr. Purdy follows in suit.
Yeah, I take all the notes. I'm gathering all the evidence.
Yeah.
Stashing it in Boom Mic and everything else.
Jennifer, talk to me about. You said you went somewhere to go drink. I know what you went to go do.
Well, she's probably started off to drink, and then she had an idea. She runs to the makeup room, and she grabs her makeup bag, and then she runs to the sort of like the dressing rooms and things, and the desks and everything, and she gets her powder out, and she starts dusting for prints.
Interesting.
And she pulls out a small sort of like black light torch, and she's checking for like stains and things, and she's just doing the full fucking CSI workup.
We get this montage, just clips of you like let's see. Let's add some funky cop show music to your, just because I love this. And you like, it's like screen after screen. And you're like dusting stuff over here, and then you're sniffing jackets over there, trying to find a clue. Now, in this case, you can also roll me an investigation. Let's just quite like see. There's a piece of information I want to give you, but I want to make sure that you roll high enough.
Right. I just.
I feel like she's gonna find lots of stains.
Oh yeah, totally black light for any dodgy stains and things. Okay, so investigate is in average now, and.
Is there the modifier box may have popped up? There's like
No modifier now.
All right, at a 1, still not quite high enough. You dust the room and don't find anything but really what you expected, which is some unexplainable stains you really don't want to know about.
There's something really nasty on the underside of the news desk.
Yeah, you don't want to know about that. Chloe's dressing room is completely like sanitized. She's clearly a psychopath. And as you're dusting, you realize the only thing you didn't dust is the letter itself.
Who had the letter? Who did? Bernie. Bernard.
Yes, Jennifer. Yes.
Do you have the letter?
I have 2 letters. One's covered in letters.
Yes, that one.
There's one covered in letters.
Yes, that one. I need that one. Give me the letter.
I'd give her both and the mic.
What? I don't need that. What?
I'm sorry. I'm confused.
It's dragging a cable behind it where he unplugged it from something, probably
and like
unknowingly.
it's knocking shit over.
Yeah, it's just like dragging it down the hallway, brooms and mops.
Bernard.
Yes. Hey, give me the fancy straw you got, and I snatch a cigarette.
That belonged to Audrey Hepburn, and I would ask you to give it back to me, sir.
Audrey Hepburn?
Audrey Hepburn.
Yes, ain't no Diana Rigg. Here you go now. Hand it back.
Did you know I had Diana Rigg once? She's quite a goer. Right. Okay, just...
Yeah, and you dust, and sure enough, you find something.
Oh,
you find a fingerprint in the bottom corner, and as you dust away, you realize it already was there. You just missed it. It looks like the smudging of some kind of ink. Like, not a really thick mark, not like an ink pen, as if there was some kind of powdery ink from a typewriter or something like that.
Looks like powdery ink from a typewriter or something like that. Fascinating.
Hate to think it's one of my kind.
Now, if only we had some way of identifying this fingerprint.
Oh no, are you gonna really go to the cops?
Do we
We'll
want
need a
the
print
police
from-
to know?
No, the police
No.
cannot know. There'll be a panic. They'll say something. They'll announce them as missing people. No, God, no. We can't.
No.
Awful. No, I think we should take a print for every single member of the news crew in the building right now and compare it to this print here.
Okay, we gotta get a typewriter ribbon with some ink on it. Then we can, and then.
Bernard, you're a bloody genius.
Thank you.
The only
Yeah.
person in this place that has that kind of ink is, of course, the lead writer.
Desperate times, I suppose. I'll arrange something.
Wonderful Matthias, thank you.
Around this time, Mr. King is going to be trying to call the producer
Okay.
in an attempt to mitigate damage and maybe reschedule them
Oh.
trying to for people.
Okay. So we get this as you guys begin your well thought out investigation on the typewriter fingerprint, or what we think to be some kind of ink fingerprint on the bottom of the letter. You pick up a phone and dial up the producer. It's actually his secretary. Mr. Lee's phone? How can I help you?
Yeah, this is Mr. King. I need to speak to him immediately.
I'm sorry. He's in a meeting.
Well, you tell him it's important.
Okay. You can hear her, like, cover the phone, and she says, he says it's really important. And he's like, but he said it's important. And you feel like there's a rustling of phones as if he snatches it from her. And she goes, fine. And, like, walks off, his secretary giving all this sass, and he picks it up and he says, we have a meeting in just a few hours. What is it that you want?
Well, I'm afraid we're gonna have to reschedule.
Preposterous! I don't reschedule.
I understand, but the Anchormen have told me specifically to tell you that they are on to the greatest story in the history of the news, but that it's top secret, and that they need time to prepare it for the 6 o'clock news tonight.
All right, sir. That is going to be some kind of deception roll, and I need to decide exactly how I want you to do that. Because what do you have currently? Because that is in direct conflict with what of him. You are lying to him, basically. So.
Yeah, I'm gonna have like maybe a report is one that
Okay,
he has
yeah. Okay, so rapport. So just him trusting you. Yeah, that would definitely work. I'm trying to think. I feel like there is one. Why don't we do that? Go ahead and roll that. We're gonna play it off as your charisma and rapport with him versus you like trying to play it off as a deception.
All right. Yeah, 'cause I feel like he's probably never lied to the producer.
Yeah, the
ever.
producer has no reason not to to distrust you. Oh yeah, at a 2 he goes, oh, Dickie told you this himself.
He did.
Oh, that Dickie. Always getting into trouble. And you hear him, like, as if he could lean in, he says, let me guess, he got drunk last night.
Well, normally I think that would be the case. But I think in this case, he's actually might be onto something.
Oh. Well, if it is for the 6 o'clock news, it is good enough for me. We shall reschedule. Have your people call my people.
I will. Thank you, Mr. Lee.
Of course. And he hangs up. So you have mitigated the producer coming by at 9 a.m. And sweat off your shoulders. But the camera pans once again, and as he does so, it does one of those, like, record skipping, like, down the hallway to our devastated weatherman. I'm actually going to pass out. Do you have all of your your aspects, James?
Let me look at what I have. I have 2 stim-
You still have 2 available. So in Fate, everybody.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
sorry. So I have my positive aspect and my negative aspect.
Okay, so you have your high concept,
Yeah.
okay, and your trouble aspect. So, let me explain just really quick for everybody out there that's never played Fate, what an aspect is. An aspect is a key, usually phrase that defines your character. A lot of Fate is not built off of these, like, skill rolls, it's built off your storytelling, and when you define a character with these aspects can be invoked using something called Fate points. Which actually, you can donate Fate points to characters, which I'll talk about here in just a second. I wanted us to get through the first half before I had donations rolling in. these fate points can be used to invoke aspects, and that can be used to help in situations, to do all kinds of things. The opportunities really are endless, and it's up to the player to choose how those are used. Now, everybody gets a high concept, the defining feature of your character, a troubled aspect, which causes conflict in your character's life, and then they get 2 additional aspects. And James has not taken one, and I think this Chloe betrayal is a really key thing that is going to define, even if just for a short period of time.
Right,
Dallas.
because he's usually he's more of a hippie, like free love, everything's great. Like,
she's
positive.
a little bit more of a Leslie Knope.
But at this point, I think he probably really had some feels for her. He was just starting to explore.
So the real question is, what is that aspect? And I'm gonna say we got to think up something really great for this. So Chloe's the base of that aspect. So it could be something like betrayal. Oh, what's a good one? It's like it's about you being in love with her. So it's the betrayal, the hurt, comes from how deeply involved you are. So
he could just probably just start being more negative, I guess.
Well, yeah, but the aspect could be used both positively and negatively. You are so maybe it's just in love with Chloe.
Right.
Newly in love with Chloe.
Oh, yeah, because he probably didn't think about it at all until he saw this note. So now he's just like, am I in love with Chloe?
Yeah, now he's torn about it, which means you could potentially use this to invoke saving her as much as it could be your distaste for her in the other situation. But we'll say for now, the aspect, and we may be able to add and morph it more as we go, is deeply in love with Chloe or newly in love with Chloe, because that's what you said. It was kind of a new feeling for him.
Questionably in love with Chloe.
Questionably in love with Chloe. Perfect. That's perfect. Great aspect. So you also will eventually get another stunt here in a little bit, but that doesn't necessarily have to have anything to do with Chloe. So love that. Great. So we've had our first aspect, and as you all finally gather and kind of come back to the center, everybody has kind of departed and is in their individual sections of the news station. The actual big writing floor. The lead writer has his own office, but all the rest of the writers are off. You can hear the typewriters clicking away. The newsroom has gone quiet because, of course, we're preset for 6 o'clock news. And all 5 of you stand there almost serendipitously in a circle staring at one another as if you were meeting at a crossroads. Each of you bearing your own information. And the news station is unreasonably silent, as if in mourning for the loss of your Anchormen.
All right.
In my office, pulling the ink. A thought occurred to me, and I'm going to set the ink down and go back to the group. So that's how I'll be joining the circle. I had a thought.
Okay.
Mr. King.
What do you want, Matthias?
So you know how I'm always telling you that television news is a sham, and the only real news belongs in print?
You know how I always tell you that writers are just a bunch of lazy jerks? Yeah.
I recall those conversations. But the thing is, what if I'm not the only one to think that way?
Did you have something to do with this?
I didn't. But what if the ink from that fingerprint didn't come from a typewriter? Or at least not from a typewriter from a newsroom. What if? Who would benefit from the TV news not going on the air? The people would have to get their news from somewhere. Then what would be left? Newspapers.
Those dirty newspaper people.
The papermen.
The papermen.
There is nothing more
Dun dun dun.
Those bicycle riding bastards.
Wait, where do bicycles come into it?
The paper boys got to
That's how the papers are distributed in rural
They distribute it by bicycle. We distribute it by the
You guys broke me.
Matthias, what did you learn from your Rhino friend? Are we the only ones?
No, it's every Anchorman.
Perfect. Well
Every
then,
single Anchorman.
here's our situation. The producer will not be coming today, but in order to keep him away, I had to promise him the greatest news story in the history of the news.
Well,
Now, a story about every Anchorman in the city disappearing would be quite a story, but only if we have an Anchorman to tell it.
so we'll have to get our Anchorman back before everyone else.
Exactly.
Oh, yes, who cares about all the rest? I mean, we're you know.
I just want you guys to know that if you need me to read the news, and not tell
Yes,
the
that's very.
Do you remember what happened last time you tried to read the auto cue?
Actually, no, we don't. Why don't you tell us there, Fuzzy?
So,
Yeah, we have a flashback. Tell us the happenings of the last time that the
so
weatherman.
basically, he tried reading from the auto cue, and it just became. He panicked. It became word salad. It was just.
Hello. Well, Baltimore. No. New York. Wait, where are we? Who am I? Why am I here?
Yeah.
Where's Chloe? Where's Dick?
Yeah, I think in a flashback, Mr. King would just like walk on camera and just put him like in a headlock and just like drag him off.
And then the screen goes to and it says, stand by, news coming. And in that moment we come back. Yeah.
Green screen.
No, I want another try. And there's this moment where clearly the last time he told the news was a disaster. So the real question is, what's the larger disaster? Having the weatherman tell your news, or having no anchorman at all?
Dallas, look.
Yeah.
It's one thing to write an opinion column in a newspaper. It's a whole nother thing to tell the news. I don't think you have it in you.
But, and he already starts, he's like sweating because he's thinking about what happened last time. It's like,
Jennifer's just going to take you around the shoulder and just be like, there, dear, it's okay.
It pains me to agree with Mr. King, but yes, you should calm down.
I need the breakfast.
Shh, drink this, you'll feel better.
Matthias, don't agree with me. It makes me look wrong.
So where do we start? Do we hunt down the papermen, or do we go to the last place where we knew they were and look for clues?
Perhaps we should split up.
Dallas, you know that all the news team have a key to Dick Norton's house, because it is, of course, a party house. So all of you have keys.
Well, where were they all last?
They were all partying. I was there.
Do you think
Were you? And did you notice anything odd, out of place? The shadowy figures of papermen hiding in the corners?
Do you think it was some sort of terrible orgy-related accident? Maybe they all drowned in a vat of baby oil or something?
Oh, how delightful. But we'll only know by checking.
Yeah.
Just hop into the van
Maybe
and
more
go.
inflatable animals than usual, but that's all I remember from before
Were they the special
just got
inflatable
really,
animals
really
or the normal inflatable animals?
What?
Was it the special animals with the special attachments or the normal ones?
I don't know what the difference is.
Oh, they must have been the normal ones. Trust me, you can't miss the special ones.
All right. Here's what I'm thinking. Dallas and Miss Jones, you two are the more fun type. Why don't you head to their home, see if you can find any information there. I'll take the writer and this old man, and the three of us are just possibly old and lame enough to fit in a newspaper joint. So we'll head to the newspaper and see what we can find there.
Yes, well, as back to normal, I disagree, because if you recall, investigative journalism is rather my experience. I should be there to investigate the household for clues.
Oh no, I think me and Dallas should be fine on our own, alone, together. Right, Dallas?
I just don't know anymore. I just don't know.
Very well. I'll suss out these rotten papermen at the source. Well, let's go.
Yeah.
So,
all right.
So,
Oh, wait. I've always wanted to do this. And break!
All put our hands in. All put our hands in. Come on.
Oh, yes,
Put your hands in. Everybody,
Let's
ready?
look at that. I'll have to touch Matthias.
Yes,
Okay,
everyone
nobody
except
touch
my
his
hands.
hand. We all know the rules. Those hands are special. 1,
Oh, they are.
2. Everyone ready?
Yes.
3.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, after 3, that's when we do it. After 3.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm gonna start over now. 1,
Yes.
2, 3. Go team!
And as your hands lift, there's this like slow motion jump from all of you, and the iconic Anchorman like as the screen again spins out in this horrible graphic. And we will cut, in fact. So let me get this right. Mr. King, Mr. Bernie, and Matthias are all going together.
Yes, they're going to the paper.
Okay. We have Dallas Jackson and Jennifer Jones who are going to Dick Norton's house?
Yeah, we're going to the party house.
Okay.
The party people are going to the party house.
All right. How are you getting there?
I imagine we don't think about that until after Birdie's left with the can.
Okay.
And we wave to them.
Yeah, Jennifer's just like, taxi!
Right. So, all right. So then what we'll do is we'll cut, actually, as the screen spins out, to the three gentlemen in Mr. Bernie's van, as it putters along down the Philadelphia streets, which, of course, are very historical streets, so they're not very large. Mr. Bernie, I need you to make me a drive check.
Oh, I'll make it. Kaboom, 4.
Oh! It must be a 6 damn cents, because, I'm gonna be honest with you. You're not exactly sure how he managed to drive because he's old AF.
They know to get out of my way. They all know just to get out of the way when they see this creepy ass thing coming down the road.
And sure enough, and I'm sure the radio plays,
Russian KGB.
Is it just like a number station?
Yeah.
63, 24.
You might be listening to AM instead of FM.
Good stuff.
This is the good stuff, yeah, and it's like talk radio. It's not the good stuff. Let's see.
What are they talking about?
Oh, they are talking about conspiracy theories related to the Vietnam War.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and how it was, an inside job or some business, and it's
That would never happen.
And what he's actually picking up on, and it's actually Matthias that knows this. It is a pirate radio station here out of Philadelphia that a bunch of hippies run from a commune just on the outskirts of town, down actually near the docks, on the south, like east side of the city, and a voice comes on and goes, "Yeah, well, I'm done talking about that war, peace, love, and all that. How about we get back to some groovy tunes?" And they begin playing, of course, rock and roll on the radio station, something kind of funky. And you guys are kind of driving. What is your plan here? You want to go straight to the first newspaper? Which one are you guys headed to?
Well, all right, just to let you guys know, they don't have parking spaces for any vehicles at the newspaper stand. It's all bike rack. So we either got to park somewhere a little further down the road or come up with a plan.
We're real news people. We can park where we want.
That is true.
You do
That
have
is true.
you have a press thing that hangs from the front of your disgusting windshield. You can't even see it for the dust and stuff. Just gross. It's so gross.
I pull up to a one of the bike racks and just run over like several of the bikes and just park right where the rack is.
Yeah, you roll up and it like tips, it like pings the side of it, and the bikes go.
Yeah.
And they all kind of fall over, and a bunch of people are like, everybody's like making noises and.
It's not even a swing to get over it, kids.
And then, do you think Mr. King would know, like, whoever manages the newspaper or owns it?
Yeah, it would just depend. Do you guys, so let's do this. So what I have given them, gang, is I did a ton of historical research on newspapers, radio stations, and television stations that would have been active, during 1975. There are three very large newspapers. That's the Philadelphia Inquirer, the Philadelphia Tribune, and the Philadelphia Daily News. Those are kind of your big ones.
Philadelphia Daily News, PDN, DN. Maybe there's a connection right there.
The Philadelphia Tribune is by far the oldest newspaper. It's the very first one, and holds the most clout and power here in Philadelphia.
But it doesn't come out as frequently as the others.
It does not. It is a bi-weekly. It's a much larger paper.
We need to keep an eye out for a daily paper. They're the only ones that really capitalize on this story.
True.
I agree.
So we'll say for the sake of this then that you guys have pulled up at the Inquirer, the Philadelphia Inquirer. And it is bustling on the inside. You can hear from the second stage. It's kind of a very modest brick building, nothing fancy about it. Very different than the building in which the news station is held in. It reeks of an older time. And as you open the door, the smell of ink and paper, warm paper, hit your nostrils as the second floor is alive with the sound of printing presses. As tomorrow's paper is currently being printed. And the downstairs floor, there is a receptionist. And people bustle past her with badges and things. And she makes eye contact with the three of you as you walk through the door.
What's the headline of the paper that's being printed?
You can't see it. You can only hear the machines from upstairs.
Yeah, Mr. King will just kind of walk up and kind of pound his fist on the receptionist desk and say, I need to see whoever's in charge of this yesterday's news center right away.
Well, I can't let you in to see Mr. Davis. He is currently in a meeting. I'll be more than happy to leave him a note, and he will call you back.
We are real news people, and there ain't no way that the people he's talking to were as important as us.
She says, sir, if you are trying to smack talk me, you have chosen the wrong person. And she points behind you, and everybody that was walking past that worked for the stand heard what you said. It's full of about 10 or 12 people here in the lobby, and all of them have stopped what they're doing and are now staring at the three of you, as if you have stepped onto their turf. She smiles blatantly.
I see. So, the way I see it, there's two ways this can go down. You can let us meet with this owner so we can get the information we want and get out of here. Or we can kick your ass on your own turf and show everybody just how weak the newspaper really is.
She stands up gingerly, presses a button underneath the counter that you can't see. A gate drops in front of the main door. And as it does so, you watch as all 12 people in the lobby slide rolled up newspapers from their sleeves. Bound tight, some of them still stained with blood. And she says, well, I see that we're going to have a problem. And the camera cuts to the stylish and wardrobe stylist of the station, and our, I don't know what to call you other than the weatherman. The weatherman standing out front of the station hailing a taxi cab.
Yes.
Taxi!
Taxi! Taxi!
Jumps in the road.
A cab like around the corner and pulls over. There's a very large, sweaty, smelly man in the front, and he, pulls up, turns the light off on top of the cab as you guys pop the door open.
We need to get to Dick Norton's house.
And step on it.
And quickly.
He goes, of course, as if it's okay, and he knows where that is. And as you guys slam the door, he forward and peels ass around the corners and delivers you promptly to the front steps of Dick Norton's house.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a few steps out of the cab after tipping the cabbie, and just kind of tremble before I look. Now that I'm looking at Dick Norton's house from a new light, I'm just like,
you're all right there. Shakes. This helps with the shakes. Have some.
Yeah, he's gonna take that and take a giant swig of it and.
As you do so, something about it triggers something in your memory. You're not sure if it's the drinking of alcohol from a bottle or the tequila specifically, but
I think I'm having drunk memory flashbacks.
Exactly. You had this flashback really quick as you stand there drinking on his lawn. Roll me a will.
Okay, I'm actually pretty good at will.
Okay.
This is good news.
It's good news. Okay. Out of 4. In fact, it's not just your knees buckling because you probably don't need more alcohol after Saturday night. It is, in fact, a flashback. And as it crosses in your mind's eye, you remember these moments of the party, of everybody in the pool, of the 4 of you toasting glasses together, and Dick Norton clapping you on the back and hugging you tight and saying, brother! my Anchorman brother, I sure do love you. And he like taps you on the chest and he says, I hope you're ready for our event on Monday. And it passes.
Yeah.
He
Wait,
goes,
hold on, memory, come back.
and you're like, ah, as the memory fades and you come back too.
Drink more.
Jennifer, I think I need more memory booze.
Take it. There you go.
I keep drinking, but probably nothing happens, right?
Yeah, you just start chugging. This time nothing happens. The good news...
Like now's a waterfall over my face. Like, no, come back.
Oh, don't waste it.
Okay, all right, sorry. Look, there was an event. I remember there was an event. They were talking about an event, and Dick called me a brother.
And he's...
My God.
That asshole. Or my brother in arms. I don't know. I'm so torn.
What did he do?
Come on. There's got to be something in here.
No, but what did he do? Go on.
What? He patted me on the back and called me his brother.
Yeah, but then you called him an asshole. I mean, usually there's a reason for that.
Well, you know how we like to sleep around?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was sleeping around with Chloe. You know, as we did.
This is well-known information at the station.
Same.
Yeah.
Yes. I've slept with Chloe. Yes.
Yeah. I didn't know until today, but I think Dick was sleeping with her.
Well,
And also, I'm not sure if I like Chloe, or love her, or maybe I hate her. I'm just full of these emotions.
I suggest you have sex with her again, just to be sure.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right. And probably someone else, just to make sure, too.
You should sleep with Dick. Oh, well, if you want, I'm happy to volunteer. The...
Hold on, let's investigate first.
All right, but they do have a rumpus room in here, you know.
Well, we'll investigate that last.
Oh, and as you say that, the music shifts again as you click open the door to Dick Norton's house. You do, in fact, have a key. No big deal there. And the two of you begin strolling through. Roll me both an investigation.
I just want to set the scene for Jennifer's investigation. She's just like...
Yeah, as you kind of like, as you, basically, the door opens and it's this very classy glass door. I would say, what is this? And as you guys walk in, it smells of booze and sweat and sex. It is a sex den, basically. The walls and the floor
are... It smells like Jennifer's apartment. And
covered in shag carpet. The furniture is funky and cool, kind of orange in nature. Strange bulbous lamps hang from the ceiling. Disgusting wallpaper.
Stains on the sofa.
Yeah, tons of stains on the sofa. But you can tell that he's a very wealthy man. Because there's still very high-class furniture, and the house is gigantic.
That's terrible. You can't get the stains out of real leather.
Is that an oak coffee table made from real oak? Like a tree? Look at that. Expert craftsmanship. Shag carpeting.
Yes, that's wood. I know the taste of wood.
And you know this house well. You've partied in this house a ton of times, Dallas. And, of course, there's a set of double sliding glass doors that go to a giant back patio that has a pool that now lays still after a large night of partying.
Right. No, and Dallas is kind of looking around because he's very conflicted about the idea that he both wants Dick's life, but hates Dick right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said that right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so yeah, his investigation is just kind of not really investigating too wholeheartedly, just kind of taking it all in the whole, right?
So you take it in. At a 2, you don't find a whole lot. There's still remnants of the party. It's very clear he didn't clean, but that's pretty normal. Dick is not the kind of man that's going to clean his own house. He'd probably hire somebody, maybe. As you search the bottom floor, it's kind of like a den and sitting area. His office, which has cigars and, hidden cologne cabinets and stupid shit. And the kind of foyer that leads out to the pool area. There is an upstairs that's via a spiral staircase with white shag carpet. And as you guys are kind of digging around, looking for things, you hear a rustling from upstairs.
I heard a rustling from upstairs.
Was that rustling upstairs? Well, you just said you heard that, so I guess. All right, so... Let's go. Maybe it's one of them.
Yes. You go first.
Right.
You're the man.
I will do that.
Jennifer's totally just watching.
So he straightens his suit up.
Yeah,
He
Jennifer's just
marches
like,
upstairs.
Yeah. So as you you guys begin upstairs, it feels like an old 70s horror film, not sure what's going to happen. And as you reach the top platform, it goes down a very narrow hallway, which of course leads to the bedrooms. And the door to Dick Norton's bedroom stands open. Cracked mostly, and there seems to be a shadow of movement coming from inside of it.
do you see that?
I see a shadow. What do you think we should do?
I have a plan. Wait. And she's going to sort of pull the cigarette out of her thing, and then pack her cigarette holder with like face powder, and she'll be like, "I'll blind them, and then you jump them. All right?"
This is an excellent plan. Nothing can go wrong with this. And all right, on 3, I'm going to shove this door open. Ready?
Right.
1, 2.
Wait, are we going on 3 or?
No, it's right at this time at 3. Like when I say 3 is the time we go. Ready?
So it's not 2, 1, 2, 3, go. It's just
No, it's just on 3.
Okay, right.
Right. 1, 2, 3. And he slams the door open.
And as you push the door open, the screen goes black, and it says, to be continued. And we're going to take a brief break here at the slamming of the door. So we were, I always give my players a 10-minute break, or at least 7 minutes to bio and those kind of things. This, of course, is that break. So hang around, because you're about to, watch some pretty cool vintage 70s commercials. See you guys here in just a few minutes.
You know what's poppin'? New Incredible! The bubble gum that pops in your mouth.
Where's the bubble?
That comes later.
When you put it in your mouth, it starts to pop. Those tiny little pieces go flippity flop.
It's poppin' and flippity floppin'. And a great bubblegum flavor.
So where's the bubble?
I can pop it without the bubble.
New Incredible Popping Bubblegum. It pops inside your mouth.
Hi.
Hi, Fred.
See how I make Fruity Pebbles in my Fruity Pebbles factory?
Fruitylicious.
And as soon as Fred makes them, I eat them. Fruitylicious. Here comes more Fruity Pebbles, Bunny. Boy, I can't resist fruity flavor. What's so funny?
Barney.
What? You're eating up the Fruity Pebbles as fast as we make them. Oh, but Fred, post-Fruity Pebbles cereal's part of a balanced breakfast. Bunny. They're fruitylicious. Why, you... Yabba dabba fruity-doo.
Not a long time ago, a very extraordinary ice was invented. It was cold and cherry and very magical, because when you poured water on it, it fizzed and grew into a soft drink so thick and cold you had to eat it with a spoon. And like nothing the world has ever known before, when you ate it, wild and wonderful things ran up and down, in and out, and all over inside you. And that's why today, in honor of that very extraordinary experience, we call this soft drink, you eat with a spoon, chills and thrills.
I got this Tweety Bird glass at Hardee's. I love it because he's so cute.
I like Bugs Bunny because he's tricky. Sylvester!
For 49 cents at participating Hardee's, you can now buy a big soft drink and a cartoon glass that's yours to take home.
I like the Roadrunner because he's fast. Beep, beep.
Supplies are limited.
Sara Lee introduces new individual Danish. They're so delicious.
They're Saralicious.
3 great flavors, each with a fruit or cheese filling. So delicious. They're Saralicious. There's creamy cheese Danish.
They're Saralicious.
And spicy cinnamon raisin with a crunchy streusel topping.
They're Saralicious.
And new apple Danish. Sara Lee's new individual Danish. Cheese, apple, and cinnamon raisin. They're more than delicious.
They're Saralicious.
You can imagine it's the beast from beyond, and nothing can stop it, it's Terron.
We need the command laser. I stopped him. Oh, he's on the move again.
Terron.
Here comes Stupid Joe Commander. Just like stopped him. Look, Terron's on the move again.
You can imagine it's the beast from from beyond, and nothing can stop it. It's Terron.
Terron, the beast from beyond, comes from Command Laser, new from Hasbro. Super Joe Commander, sold separately.
For every car in America, Texaco has great gasolines. Gasolines specially designed to give cars better performance and for cleaner air. Gasolines with one of the most advanced additive packages in any gasoline you can buy. Whatever car you drive, you can trust Texaco to have the gasoline that's exactly right for you.
You are about to see 3 strikes made the hard way with a different kind of bowling ball, the AMF Impact KE21. So much pin-punishing power. It's almost unfair.
Wait till Bob sees my Evel Knievel hot seat. Can't wait till she'll build my Evel Knievel motocross bike. It's Tank with Evel's initials. It's Chain Guard with Evel's signature. It's Bucket Seat. It's motocross looks. And it's ID plate that says Evel Knievel. Hey, stop!
The Evel Knievel hot seat and the Evel Knievel motocross bike. Assembly required.
I said, Wilma, want to go to the beach? And she said, I'd love to. Love? Guess she sort of goes for me.
Oh, we'll go for your breath. You need Scope.
My breath? Bad. Well, Scope help?
Sure, Scope's strong. Leaves your breath really clean, fresh.
You're right, and it tastes great.
Now, Wilma will really go for you.
Scope helps keep you face to face.
Jungle Fred was studying his secret supermarket map, hunting animals for his toaster. Aha! Toast some animals. Cinnamon lions, berry bears, and chocolate-flavored elephants.
Chocolate elephants? Capture them!
Capture those toast-em animals.
Now, free in every specially marked toast-em animals box. Wild, funny hotspots that glow in the dark. In the dark! In the dark! Get hotspots free with toast-em animals.
Neuromuscular disease could turn Arnold Schwarzenegger into a 97-pound weakling.
I made you, you know it's true. Mr. Potato Head, I made you. I've been years, nothing else to. Mr. Potato Head, I made you. I made you, you know it's true. Mr. Potato Head, I made you.
Mr. Potato Head, a toy you can put together yourself from Hasbro.
Mothers, can you remember what it felt like to wear diapers? Well, we can. When we were diapers, we couldn't talk and tell you how important softer diapers are. Some of us wore them washed in icy snow. That's many of us wore them washed in detergent. They're not a store. Right. How come every lady doesn't use ivory snow?
What? Want a good deal?
Deal?
Fly Continental's chicken feed fare.
Chicken feed?
Yeah, Continental has this special fare. You can save up to 50% if you buy in advance.
Sounds interesting.
And you can save up to 20% even if you don't.
Yeah, but can I buy one and fly right away?
Sure, you can leave today.
I can't believe I'm the only one who didn't know about this.
Advance purchase has some restrictions. Call us or your travel agent.
George, found your turtle and your plane.
Thanks, Dad.
Can't find the soap.
Here. You still out of soap. Zest is different. Makes you feel cleaner than soap.
Here's why. Soap leaves a sticky soap film. Zest doesn't. Even after rinsing, soap film's still there.
Zest. Some lather. Good clean feeling, too. That shower made me feel great.
It's the Zest.
Try Zest. Feel cleaner than soap.
If you believe in magic, then I've got a place for you.
There's fun at every table with tricks by you know who. There's lots of tasty food. The Duke of Down might be there too. You can enjoy a magic meal and sit on magic feel. While Burger King makes magic,
I doubt it.
that will squeeze you off your feet. Yeah, magic makes it special when you're with Burger King.
My American Eagle can go just about anywhere under the sun. Anywhere. Come on.
Eagle's automatic four-wheel drive gives me the confidence to take the family to the beach the hard way. Eagle even hauls my boat out of this. Now, I wouldn't try that in an ordinary compact. Eagle's four-wheel drive automatically directs power for the traction to get out where there's nothing but woods, and occasionally another Eagle.
The Eagle has landed on all fours at American Motors.
Come get in. Something to drink. 2 weeks in the desert and you bring us beer? We want something special. Bull. Bull?
The Schlitzmott Liquor Bull. It is a special premium brew that's in a glass by itself.
What extraordinary taste. Gungadin, how can we repay you?
Well, Sahib, I do take all major credit cards.
If you want to change of pace, don't say beer, say bull. Bull. The Schlitzmott Liquor Bull.
There's a certain feeling you get right after a foamy shave when your mirror tells you you're gonna look like Mr. Terrific all day. That's the foamy feeling. And it comes from that clean, close, foamy shave. Come on, get Gillette Foamy. It's the only way to get that foamy feeling.
It's no problem getting the redness out of my eyes. All these drops work just fine. They all soothe and clear my eyes. The problem is getting the drops in. So for me, it's Ocusol, because Ocusol's little nose bridge makes it easy. It helps steady my hand, so, ta-da, feels nice. The big difference in eye drops is Ocusol's little nose bridge, because you can't get the redness out till you get the drops in.
When American Motors introduced the Gremlin, people found out that it doesn't cost a lot of money to own a car that's fun to drive. The idea has spread all over the country. The Albuquerque 8. The Wichita Wiggle. Tallahassee Two-Step. The Boston Bounce. The Chicago Shuffle. Six months ago, coming out with a car the size and price of the Gremlin was a gamble. But American Motors took it.
Yeah, that run.
And we are back with Fate of the Anchorman. Thank you. If you are still out there watching the show, now's the chance for me to say things like, you know, hit that follow button, that subscribe. If you have just tuned in, welcome, welcome. We are using Fate Core to play through a kind of homebrewed setting that I created around one of my favorite movies, which is, of course, Anchorman. So we are putting on our best 70s faces today, and we have just launched, so welcome to the premiere. I want to say, too, I am doing something special with this. This is going to be my very first public release of one of my world builds, as I like to call them, or guides. So what I'm doing is everybody that donates a coffee via my Ko-Fi in the month of October is supporting a goal that I'm doing to actually publish this, and when that happens, you get a free copy. So I'm going to drop a link right now in chat where you can go do that and get on board. For $3, you support me putting that into a digital PDF form, and it will come straight to you so that you can play in the world of Anchorman, which will, for everybody's knowledge, include both the production crew builds as well as Anchorman builds, or Anchormen and women builds. So it's not just one side or the other. It will include Both. So yeah, here we are back at it. Now, one of the things I did not mention at the top of the game, because I really wanted to get rolling and have things moving and get some of the characters really out there because they are vibrant characters. But you can actually donate to affect our game. It's very, very simple. This is not D&D. There's no like wild magic surges really or anything like that. But there are some things that are very specific to Fate, which include Fate points, which we talked, I think, a little bit about before the break. And Fate points basically are tokens that the players can cash in at different points to do different cool things. So you can donate Fate points. The donation system has been updated below for you, and you can also visit my donate link. I want to think that ought to do it. Yep. And you can learn a little bit more about the different things that you can give in-game, which include advantages, which allow players to use aspects or stunts without cashing in a fate point. You can donate conflicts, so if you want them to go into combat, or we call that a conflict in Fate, you can donate scenarios to make that a reality. So all kinds of things if you want to mess with our production crew. So here we are. At the first half of today, we saw the morning routine of 5 very interesting characters out of Philadelphia. Unfortunately, all of them arrived to their morning jobs at the Channel 10 news station in Philadelphia to find that the Anchormen, due for the 6 o'clock news in exactly 12 hours, have gone missing. And not just missing, there's a high probability they have been kidnapped. So the investigation has started. Who has taken the Anchormen? Why are they missing? And what are we going to do if they do not arrive by 6 p.m.? Because, of course, if the city of Philadelphia does not receive its 6 p.m. news, all of their civility will dissipate, and the city will turn into mass riots. So, as the door pushes open to Dick Norton, the lead anchor for Channel 10's house, where Dallas and Jennifer have been sneaking around, snooping about, trying to figure out what was in fact Dick doing just before he was kidnapped. And as the door pushes open and it slams against the wall in the bedroom, there's a hard cut to the sound of a newspaper hitting a hand. Thwack. 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 And the director, the lead writer, and the cameraman for the Channel 10 news station stand in a locked lobby of the local newspaper, the Philadelphia Inquirer. And they are surrounded by about 12 newspaper men. Newsies, we'll call them. These seem to be laggies, lackluster people that work here. They don't seem to have much import just at quick glance. Nobody has made any defining movements, but they are beginning to encircle you. And the quaint woman behind the desk, about 30, stands up and she says, "I see we're going to have trouble."
It appears so. I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but now that you mention it, it has been a while since I've beaten up a newspaper. And he reaches down, kind of like into like the side of his pants, and grabs something, and pulls out a long wooden baseball bat that is covered in like signatures, and just kind of puts it up on his shoulder. It's like, well, you guys ready?
Well, I was hoping to destroy you all with my rapier wits, but unfortunately, I guess we'll have to resort to my rapier.
Oh! That's amazing.
But see, what you crazy news kids don't know is back when I was a valet driver in World War I, 6 tanks came with my division. All 6 of those German tanks were destroyed. From their 6 ashes, I created this type of pepper spray, Sechspanzer, made with spits of 6 different German tanks. It'll hit you like them. I hope you haven't printed your obituaries yet.
And somebody off in the distance goes, "Oh my God, that's Sex Panther."
It is. Yes, it is.
And she says, "Then let the games begin. And the Anchormen begin rushing the group, and we will roll for initiative. In Fate, I like to give each of you a moment. It's that moment when you go into a fight where you almost like prep yourself and ready yourself. It's a instinctual reaction that you have moments before you actually collide on the battlefield. And so I like to, in Fate, give you a chance to narrate what that moment is, and potentially get and use a stunt if you would like, or an aspect to better your situation. Now, in Fate, and I'm going to share this with everybody too, one of the things that we do in Fate is there are multiple kinds of aspects. So even though the characters have them, we also have situational aspects, which are built simply off the entire situation that they're currently in. So I'm actually going to give you guys some, because I can use those situational aspects against you, and you can do basically the same to me and use them to your advantage. So, for example, and I'm going to type this for them in Roll20 so that they have note of it. The first one that I'm going to say is this lobby is currently it's got marble floor and it's wide open, and there's a desk in the middle, but it is crowded because there are 12 of them and 3 of you. So even though it's an open lobby, the lobby is currently crowded. So you can use that to however you want to. Oh my god, come on. And I may make that a more interesting aspect, but for now, it gets the point across. And so you guys begin that moment. So let's start with actually our writer. What do you do in this moment?
Okay. Well, so there's that narrow space that they'd have to funnel through to get to us, right?
Basically, yeah. There's like 2 hallways on the left and right that they kind of came out of, and they've filled into a circular lobby area and are kind of semi-circling you. The door directly behind you, almost like the lobby of a bank, the way you'd picture a bank. The lobby door behind you has closed off.
Okay. Well, in that case, I am going to maneuver myself to stand back to back with Mr. King. He's going to need a lot of room to swing his baseball bat around, and I don't want to get caught in the crossfire. So I'm going to establish my own field of action.
Great. One of the things you can do combat in Fate is take your entire action if you want to do what's known as a defensive maneuver. So every time you actually get a turn, you get a defensive turn, and you get an actual attack turn in combat. Okay. But you can basically give up your combat turn to make it a double defense, if you would. And in doing so, you get a +2 against something that might attack you because you've taken a defensive stance. So in this case, you're not necessarily taking action. So I'm actually going to give you that +2 as this because you basically have made space and you're taking some kind of defensive action just in case somebody attacks you. So we'll use that just to show you how the mechanism works. So if something were to attack you, you're going to get a +2 on your roll, and I'll show you how to do that as well.
Okay.
So cool. So you guys watch as Gildan Thorne steps backwards, making room for the director, who I'm sure is like swinging a bat, getting ready to go in. What do you do, Mr. Director? And then we're gonna roll initiative.
Yes, Mr. King kind of starts winding up his baseball bat, and he's like, "All right, well then, gentlemen, we are the news, the real news, and we're here to kick some poser news ass." And then he's just gonna break into a run at them, and I'm gonna use a stunt.
Okay.
And I'm gonna use my rallying charge stunt.
Yes!
When he charges into the fight as the leader of the team, he can bolster his allies.
Woohoo! So basically what we'll say then is that if the lot of you make physical attacks against something, not mental ones, so like no smack talk, but you make real physical attacks, when you do so, you'll get a +1 to that physique roll when you make the attack. So that'll be a bonus to you. All right.
Cool. And that costs 1 fate point, right?
It does cost a fate point to use that stunt. Don't forget, gang, you can donate fate points to them, which they can use over and over, but they also get to earn them. And this may be a prime time to show you how that works. So, as you watch the director rally the troops, and as the 3 of you are beginning to become encircled. And last but certainly not least, Mr. Cameraman, how do you use your instinct turn, as I like to call it?
Okay, I would invoke the situational aspect. The lobby is currently crowded, so that whenever I bust out my Sex Panther spray, it'll get a lot of them.
Okay, it'll get multiples at a time.
It's an AoE.
I love that. I love that. I would like to add a little something here, and you may gain a fate point if you accept this. You rally the Sex Panther and get ready to spray it. If the air if the air conditioner turns on in this exact moment to create drama and effect, you gain a fate point, and it will be basically a luck of the roll to see if it sprays in the wrong direction.
Yes.
Okay. Of course.
You want to see it?
You gotta do it. That's
gotta do it.
That's very Anchorman.
Okay, so the first thing that so the first thing that you'll do is roll for or you won't roll anything. The first thing that you'll do is accept your fate point. So you get a +1, but you are going to roll just 4 fate die for me. What I like to call a luck roll. And on the chart, as long as you get a over a mediocre, which is a 0, which is a high probability, you should be fine because it's a pretty simple thing to turn a cannon spray.
A 1.
A 1, perfect.
Yeah.
At a mediocre skill, at a 1, that's all you needed, and you get it. And you manage. It's almost like you have that moment where it's pointed the wrong way, and you're like, derp, and you spin it the right direction. So not only did you earn your fate point, but there was a great moment of drama and comedy in it. And you do in fact spray. So let's go into combat. That's a perfect segue. We need to roll initiative. In Fate, we roll initiative using Notice. So if you have Notice on your, go ahead and roll it. I'm going to roll, there are 12 of them. I'm not rolling 12 individual ones. Just not going to happen.
Something got in my eye.
Okay.
Something got in my eye.
So, those of you at home that have never seen Fate before, Fate uses something called fudge die, 6-sided die, no numbers, 2 negatives, 2 pluses, and 2 blank sides, which equals 0, and they simply add up. 8 usually being the absolute highest you'll ever get, that being a legendary action, and then terrible being a -2, so that's kind of the roll chart. At a 1, at a -1, at a 0, who didn't roll a Notice? Mr. Bernie.
I rolled mine, it was a mediocre skill, because I don't have...
Oh, you got the -4? Oh,
yes.
You got... Oh, man, that's a critical fail. Okay. That's like unheard of. So here's what we're gonna do. Initiative
no,
rolls.
I do have Notice. It's +1. Just make a -3.
Okay, -3. Okay, that's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
You do in fact spritz a large group of them. I would say, how potent is this stuff?
Oh, it's made with the armor of 6 German Panzer tanks.
Okay. So we'll say that you could potentially get 6 of them in one go, like half the room. You just kind of do a brisk spray over them. So I'm going to roll 6 times against this. It is a physique roll, and these guys do have a +1. So to make this easy on us, I'm going to copy and paste this 4 times. Nope.
You can always hit up on the arrow key in the blank chat box to re-roll your previous.
Oh, no doubt. I did not know that, Rim. You just blew my mind.
Yep. You're welcome.
Cool.
If you type up the formula, will appear.
Oh my god. Okay, the first one rolled a 3. This is going to be a difficulty of a 3. So it is very difficult to hit. A 5. That is a critical success. How many did I say? 6? Okay. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so there are 2 of them. One with a critical success, one with a 3, which is considered a good job. So 2 of them managed to dodge, and in fact, the 5th one rolls a critical success because he takes the guy next to him and puts him in front of him. He, like, moves him and uses him as a human shield. And you watch as he's like, oh, my eyes! And 4 of these guys go into an extreme panic. This means, and the way that we do damage is, because it was a difficulty level 3, they, like, subtract, basically. So 2 points. Each of them are going to take what's known as a mild consequence. Mild consequence means permanent damage that will take time to heal, and they go blind for a period of time from this stuff. So 4 of them are running around like crazy, bumping into one another. 2 of them succeeded. But with that critical Notice, Rim, it is, in fact, the giant spritz and marking of them that does blow it backwards. And you also take 1 point of damage. Now, the way this works is on your sheet. Everybody can kind of see it since this will be the first damage given. At the bottom, there are boxes, and these boxes say physique and will, or physical and will. Everybody has basically the first two boxes, box 1 and box 2, naturally. If you have points in physique or points in will, you get to go up to the third box. That could be checked off. You have a total of 6 points. So it's not about checking box 1, box 2, box 3. It's actually about a number of points. So let's say you actually took 4 damage. You could check box 1, box 2, or you could check box 1 and box 3 to cover for 4 points total. Does that make sense? Did everybody get that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Okay, cool.
What if physique is a terrible skill of yours because you're an old man?
If it has moved into a mediocre skill or below, mediocre's fine. If it moves it below a mediocre skill, so poor, terrible on your chart,
Yes.
it does mean that you would take down your physique or your physical to just 1 box.
Okay.
So you took 1 point of damage, so you may have to check your 1 physique box.
Okay.
Yep.
There we go.
There you go. So you take this 1 point of damage, checking your physique box. You guys watch as the old man is now spritzed with his own special panther. Whatever we called it, Sex Panther.
Sexpanzer.
Panzer. That's right.
It's a German.
It's a German. So that puts us back into this initiative order. And actually, first up will be our lovely director leading the way, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, so basically he's just gonna run up probably to one of the guys that was blinded by this.
Yeah.
And just go swinging with his baseball bat.
Okay, great. We're gonna basically make conflicting physique rolls, so go ahead and roll a physique for you to make that attack.
Okay, and it'd be physique instead of fight, because I do a fight as well.
I would take fight if it's a skill that you actually have and it's better. Sure, we're in a fight. I would take that.
Okay. It's actually the same, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
He rolled a 2. Oh, at a 0. So you swing, and it's just not hard enough. Maybe he, bumps into a wall instead. But it is not enough to actually make the hit do damage. You may still crack him, but it doesn't do any physical damage to him.
Oh, no, whatever, +1, but it's still a 1.
But it's still a 1, yeah, because it rolled... Oh, yeah, so... Yeah, you rolled those 3 negatives on the dice. So, great, we move kind of right along. He's like, ah! 4 of them are still, running around. Panic's beginning to ensue as the 4 blind people are trying to find their way out. And it becomes... Who was last in that turn order? Oh, it was old Mr. Bernie, wasn't it? So up next would be Matthias.
Okay. Well, I am going to follow after his director and make sure neither of us get surrounded, and so I can continue to have his back.
Great.
And I am going to go after one of the non-blinded ones.
Cool.
One of the ones that's still a threat. And just make
a physique. If you're going to make a physical attack, if you were trying to make a will attack in any way, which is more like smack talking or trying to convince him of something, that's a different roll.
And don't forget you have a +1 modifier on that for my charge.
Okay, on the
fight.
Yeah,
for the fight. So when the box pops up that says modifier, add a +1.
Okay,
yep.
Sounds good. Yes, I am going to make a stab at one of the non-blinded ones.
Yes.
All right, let me go ahead and make that roll.
Whoa! Okay, well, he's going to quick roll against you with a 0. That means that he takes 5 points of... He takes all of that, damage. All 5 of it. Which will basically knock him down. He's done. So tell me how you do that.
You raise your hand to me, boy. You lose that hand. I'll just stab him right through his writing hand.
Yeah, he goes, oh, no! No! As he, runs off. You can see the hand, bleeding. He's taken a permanent, we'll say probably not just a mild, not a mediocre, but a severe physical damage at 5 points to the hand. And he runs off in a panic, trying to figure out what the hell he guess he's going to do with his life now. Beautiful turn. And we move along to... Actually, it's all of the... newspaper guy's turn. There's quite a few of them, so I'm going to roll this a little bit more in bulk. They won't all get a turn, but... so the first one's going to attack, and it turns around and it's going to hit with the newspaper at Mr. King is the first one, so you'll need to roll a physique against me. They only rolled a 0, so they're not doing so hot. You rolled a
Yeah, that's a
1,
one.
so you don't take any damage as he kind of like whacks you like a dog with a rolled up newspaper, clearly not doing any damage whatsoever. You see at this point that the woman behind the desk begins to panic, as if there's a high probability that they're going to lose even with their numbers. And she kind of looks around, and you see her bolt down the hallway to your left, her heels clicking as she's clearly going to either get help or somebody. The next one rolls, this time aiming for the old man, who, one of them that still has his sight, seeing that you might have taken some damage. Oh! Oh no, Mr. Bernie. Oh no! So you don't take any like negative plus damage, so you only take the 4. So Mr. Bernie, you have to decide how you want to divvy up those points. Anything that's left over that doesn't fit in your checkboxes becomes mild, moderate, or severe damage, which is permanent damage. Wait, you're muted there, Rim.
I mean, what I meant to say was, so my 1 is checked off. I guess a 2 will be checked off.
So you can do 2. Okay, so you are going to take your first mild consequence, which is more permanent style damage. And I think this... How many teeth does Mr. Bernie have left?
Oh, he's got about, let's say 10.
Okay.
All on the front.
Just for shits and giggles, I'm gonna roll a d10. I don't usually do this because this is not a d10 system, but... Okay.
Ooh.
There is a whack thud across your face. Maybe this newsie knows how to roll a newspaper, and it hits like a ton of bricks across your jawline. And we watch in slow motion as 4 teeth like out of your mouth and fly across the way, followed by spit and blood. You will permanently lose teeth. We're gonna call this consequence. This consequence is called bypassing the tooth fairy. And
I'm rich.
I'm rich, yeah. So you now have only 6 teeth left.
Okay.
And this is, over time, this can heal, but you can tell, like, it hit you hard enough when it bopped the teeth out that it's, like, ripped your gum line and it's become painful, and you're now, like, dripping blood from your mouth. Gentlemen, Mr. Bernie's not looking so good. And another newsie turns and is now going to attack the only man we have left who hasn't had a good thud, which is the writer. Now, you are going to get a +2 to this roll. Remember, you did take a defensive stance. Okay. So, I've got to remember what I'm rolling here. Oh, yeah. So 4. You need to meet a 4 or beat it with your physique.
Make a physique roll?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Add a +2. Oh.
And it doesn't hit, so you will take 3 points of newspaper damage as he comes around and thwacks you in the back with a hard newspaper. Now, you can take the 1 box and check the 2 box, equaling 3 points total, or you can, take the 1 and take a mild consequence, however you want to choose to do it.
Ah, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you said if you have a skill in physique, it adds to those boxes somehow?
Yes, it does. So, what level is your physique at?
Fair, +2.
Fair, +2. So you actually get the 3rd box as well to check. So you could take all 3 in 1 checkbox. Or you could take check 1, check 2.
Oh, I see.
Do you see how that works? So you basically have a total of 6 points.
Okay, but if I check the 3 box, because I've only take 3. Okay, no, I gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and check that 3 box.
Great. So you check off the 3 box, leaving 1 and 2 open to continue to take damage. But you can hear a strange, crack in your back as even maybe he hit a disc or something and, threw it out a little bit. It is definitely going to be bruised for a few days. So pretty hard hit there with a 3. And we move right along. It is now Mr. Bernie's turn, who's standing there bleeding in the middle of this lobby.
Let's see. This is a lobby, right? How shiny do the floors look? They look
they shiny. They shiny marble, yeah.
So is there a floor buffer nearby?
Of course there is.
I'm going to invoke my stunt. Speed bump can use drive skill as an attack when operating a vehicle. I'm jumping on this damn floor buffer. I'm going to run some asses over.
Yes. You feel around in the dark, and almost magically, with your, even in the blinded state from the toxic spray, you hop on board, and I'll let you use the drive skill. Is it your best skill?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, to make an attack, and you're going to run some of them over.
I am.
They're going to try to dodge you by making physique rolls, but we'll see how they do. So go ahead and make the roll.
I'm gonna buff you kids out. Bam, 6.
And
you're gonna shine tonight.
Oh my god. The buffer rides through. And you take down about 3 of these guys. I'm gonna just roll against it to see how much damage they take, but that's pretty rough there. Holy shit, they each take 5, and they go down as the buffer mauls their face with rough blades. And somebody off in the distance goes, "At least we're not in television." As their faces begin, like, scrubbing away.
Oh, no one wants to see your face anyways.
Yeah.
Not now.
And you guys watch as Mr. Bernie begins to ride down a hallway. And it is about this time, after he's run a couple of them over and the newsies are crowding in closer and you guys are beginning to get back to back into space, that you hear somebody going, "Stop!" And all of the newsies just stop exactly what they're doing. And they all turn and look. And the hallway to the left where the receptionist ran off to, she has come back with another well-dressed, well-kept and clearly prominent figure of the newspaper. A woman, actually. Her hair tight back, her eyes almost pull from how slick her bun is. She wears heavy shoulder pads as if to square herself off and look more powerful. And she stands there in a tight pencil skirt and a top underneath that has a very funky print on it. Are you quite done?
That depends. We're here to get back what you took from us.
How long is this extension cord? That determines how done I am.
And it's like clearly pulled you, and it's like going, "Nyah, nyah," and it finally comes free, and
I feel like on Arrested Development, the character Job, when he's on his scooter, how it'll just like fall forward every now and then, like, yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
How you doing, man? As he just can't control it really.
And yeah, she stands there and she says, "I don't quite know what you talk of, but I don't like your attitude, and I don't like you bringing in your television news attitude and ego."
I'm going to step up and address her.
Okay.
Now, I respect the hell out of what you do here. This is good work, generally, for what it is. But if you do not confess any involvement that you may have had with the troubles that we are experiencing, then I will destroy you. I'd like to roll my appropriate skill.
Yeah, go ahead. Which skill are you rolling? Is it rapport, or are you going to use...
no, not rapport. I'm going to... No, goodness, no.
Oh, goodness,
that would be provoke.
Oh, you're going to use provoke. Okay, you're trying to provoke a little something out of her. Okay, great. Go for it. Roll that provoke. Let's see how you do. Beautiful. A 6. She's not even going to try to roll against you. She says, "I can feel your frustrations." She steps up to you, very close. She's a very attractive woman, but is kept underneath a very hard exterior. And she brings her voice down as if only to speak to you. And she says, "I would like to give you whatever it is you want, but I don't know what you speak of." She's like, "I'm sorry. You bring your hostility into my place of work. I appreciate your respect, but this does not look like respect." And she gestures, and as the camera pans, it's clearly a destructive mess. There are bodies, like, mopped all over the floor. The white marble is now red.
I'll clean that up.
Oh, I should clarify. Matthias is a dumbass, and we don't respect you. Just he does, because he's a rhino.
She looks over and says, "Let me guess. Your director?"
You haven't heard of the great Mr. King?
Oh, haven't I?
We're done here. It wasn't them.
Fine then.
This must have been one of the other ones. We'll find out.
I hate
But thank you,
to
miss, for your
bother
cooperation.
you as you are trying to finally exit this place, but I must know. You seem very troubled. What's
Well, I
gone
guess so.
on? What is going on?
You'll just have to hear about it on the evening news.
Yeah.
And I'll turn and walk away.
Besides, even if we told you, you couldn't get the news out till tomorrow morning anyway.
And you hear her go,
Stupid lady.
yeah, you hear her go, and the three of you, this is something I like to do, for definitely playing into the Anchorman banter and smack talking, you each get a fate point.
Yay.
All right. And it is, as the three of you turn on your heels, that swinging motion as the camera, like slings to the right, following the opening of a door as it slams against a bedroom wall. And there, you hear a woman go, "Ow! Oh!" And the maid for Dick Norton stands there trying to make his bed. She's a kind of squat woman, potentially Hispanic, but she's terrified. You guys have scared the bejesus out of this innocent woman, and she's like laid out on the bed, like holding herself. Oh my god! Oh,
Are you quite all right there, dear?
I am. Oh, you scared me. Why?
Who are you?
I am maid.
What? Hold on. Where is everyone? Maid?
If that's even your real name.
Everyone, she says, it is.
We were obviously the right people for this job.
Yeah. She goes, she seems very concerned, and she takes a moment to like gather herself and takes a deep breath. She says, people, they go yesterday. Today, clean day, Monday.
Where did they go?
Home.
Home.
But this is Dick's home. Where's Dick?
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Dick.
Where's the dick?
The Dick. The Dick is, the Dick, he's gone to work.
No, he's not at work.
He is not.
When did you see him last?
The Dick went to work.
What time? What time did he leave here?
Oh, Mr. Dick left this morning.
This morning. Did he seem off? Perhaps jolly? Maybe happy? Maybe writing a note? Did he have flowers with him? Tell me, maid.
Settle down. Here, drink this.
All right.
And she begins to get a little frustrated again. And she says, no, none of these things.
Yeah. I take the bottle.
Yeah, she's just offering it round, like offering it to the maid as well. It's just like...
Yeah,
Don't even try lying.
She goes, how did you get in? Burglars! And she bolts for the phone. She looks at you and goes, oh, you are Mr. Burgundy's lovers.
What?
Mr. Norton's lovers.
Huh? I've slept with him, yes, but you know.
Oh, you too! And she points to Dallas.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I got really drunk on Saturday, so...
I mean, I've slept with him, and I've slept with him.
Oh, Saturday. Yes, he drank and...
Indirectly, you know, there's probably some fluid transfer gone on.
She tilts her head as if she's not 100% sure that English... Like, she understands what it is you're insinuating. And she begins to strip the sheets off the bed.
Yeah. Do you know what sloppy seconds are?
No.
Probably for the best.
You should try it sometime, though. It really perks you up in the morning. So, he was leaving this morning.
He went to work, the Dick.
Went to work. All right.
So, he left this morning. Was he with anyone?
Oh no. I kicked ladies out 2 hours ago.
Ladies? Which ladies?
There were lots of ladies.
Lots of ladies. Yeah, just like
There was blonde,
Hmm?
and there was blonde.
Okay.
2 blonde ladies.
Oh, and they was twins.
My God.
They looked the same.
Okay. Well, Jennifer, I don't think we're getting anything out of this.
Do you mind if we look around? Have you tidied the entire house yet?
Oh,
well,
I
No,
mean,
no.
I have
Downstairs, definitely not.
not his lounge.
Hold on.
Have you found anything strange? Unusual, out of the ordinary?
Oh, Mr. Norton. Oh yes, he say he had special place to go today. Special place, something before work. Yes.
Where?
He
Where
did
is
not
this special
say.
place?
Oh, I do not know. He just say a special place.
Damn you, Dick. Damn you.
Yes. It's probably a community of assholes he meets up with every morning.
This is possibility. Aren't you friend asshole?
I don't know yet.
Oh.
I'm still figuring myself out right now.
She goes,
This
okay.
will help.
Yeah.
And she begins kind of stripping the sheets again. And she says, please lock door. You scare me.
Aye. Okay. I'm gonna go look through Dick's wardrobe.
Okay.
Like look through his jackets and all those things. I'm gonna see if because probably every Anchorman has his like favorite jacket that he probably wears or something. Like
Yeah. Well, you know that Dick has his Monday morning jacket.
Oh, his Monday jacket.
He's got his Monday
that
jacket.
Monday jacket.
That Monday polyester. And you go into
the lapel trim.
Yeah, you go into the closet. And she says, "You know, Mr. Dick does not like you touching his things. Don't touch his things."
This.
I'm going through his bedside
might be
drawer.
one of the most important days of our lives. And I need to find out where Dick's at. And
Yes, Dick is. You cannot tell anybody this. You must swear to secrecy.
Oh, okay. So
promise, pinky promise.
Oh no, not the Pinky's promise.
Pinky promise.
Those are
said
serious.
pinky promise made.
I guess it's canon now. Pinky promises are the most serious of promises. But what if somebody asks where you are?
You must not tell anyone where we are.
Okay.
Deadly secret.
We're on a secret mission, maid.
Yes.
I have
Now,
name.
pinky promise with Jennifer.
Are you trying to? Ooh, I'm going to need an some kind of intimidation roll from here, Dallas Jackson. You just stepped the fuck up.
I did.
I was like, I felt it. I was about to say,
now.
I felt it in your voice.
Yeah.
I want to try and sort of like be using empathy and just be like, promise me. If this is important.
Okay.
Dick's
Yeah, we're
life
not
could be in
good cop,
danger.
bad cop right now.
Actually,
but
for sure. Let's do, I'm going to let you roll the empathy, Jennifer, and I'm going to let you roll a provoke, Dallas. If you don't have it, you can simply hit the mediocre button at 0.
Right. I don't have it, so.
Okay, well, you still rolled better. There's something, must be your aspect, kicking in this deep anger of wanting to find both Dick Norton and his potential woman that was your woman. Yeah.
Questionably in love is now taking generally mild-mannered
Oh my God.
Dallas Jackson, the hippie, to start intimidating
This
the poor
poor
maid.
maid. And yeah, and she's like, oh, and she says, okay, and she quickly loops fingers with you. And there's one of those like, as we cut, and both of you are inside the closet. She's left you alone and moved on to cleaning downstairs. The pool needs serious work. There's just things floating all over the top of it, old condoms and underwear.
Yeah, condoms stuck in the filter.
Yeah, it's gross. So
Yeah.
she's cleaning the pool at this point. And you guys have been left in his closet. It's extraordinary.
Is it one of those walk-in closets? Like it's as big as my probably apartment?
It's Narnia somewhere at the back.
Yeah, and it's like everything's like labeled. Everything's color coded by season, by designer. You see some things, but he does have his and you're like holy.
It's a Lagerfeld. Look at this. It's that Chanel. My God.
Jennifer, you need to concentrate, okay? I can't have you getting lost in this
Smell it. Smell
this
it.
beautiful Dick Palace that he's made here.
Oh,
This
it's magnificent. I never knew Dick was quite such a snapper. I mean, I knew he was a snappy dresser, but this is my wildest dreams.
So the both of you
smoking
begin
mirrors for the demon.
looking. Now you were looking for the jacket in particular. You search and search. His Monday morning jacket is missing, but you find something else, Dallas, as you are sifting through. At the very bottom of the closet, covered by very long dress coats, as you pull them back, is a box that says donation on it. Now, you have never known Dick to donate anything, ever. He is not a charitable fellow, but it seems that he has plundered this small closet and pulled literally like 2 things into a donation box, as if he was trying to clean out, make some space.
Dick is making donations now? The hell is this?
There's only one sort of donation I've ever known him to make, and
no,
well,
no. The only donations he makes are just being a giant dick. Here, you look in this.
All right. I'm gonna open it with my cigarette holder, just like gently, just sort of.
Yeah, I'll leave it like holding it out while she does that, helping her.
You, like, peel it up. A small moth, like, flutters out of it, and when you open it, almost a gasp, it does that camera, like, oh, as it, like, zooms in and out in fear, because it looks like he had 2 coats left over from the 60s. The lapel is all disgusting and old. It has a couple holes in it. There are still elbow patches on it, which is, like, a fashion no. And it looks like he has pulled the 2 most horrific jackets that were in his closet from, like, a back shelf somewhere and have put them in a donate box.
What's wrong, Jennifer? What's wrong? What is it? What have you seen?
It's
what
plaid.
horrors lurk below the junk within the box?
I'm Jennifer just runs to the toilet and vomits.
Yeah, yeah, just the sight of those god awful jackets.
Oh
I
God!
finally take a peek and I'm like, my God!
Yeah, and you like float. Yeah, you toss the boxes and it explodes open and the jackets fall to the floor and the 2 of you stand there staring at these 2 jackets in a mound as they torture you. You back out and, like, you know, you can slam the door, whatever you want to in between you, and you take a moment and try to begin piecing some of this together.
Do you have a lighter? Oh wait, no, there's evidence. No, we shouldn't.
It will burn. It will.
Oh, that stuff goes up like a bomb.
Well, maybe outside then.
But no, we shouldn't.
Right. Wait,
we shouldn't start fires.
Let's start a fire.
We should check the pockets for evidence.
Oh.
You do it. I can't bear to. No, this is my thing. This is my job. I've trained for this. I'm gonna get some rubber gloves from the bathroom, like pink marigold sort of thing.
Yeah, you're like elbow deep. And you definitely search the pockets. There is nothing in it, but it is literally what you said, search the pockets. And Dallas, you have another one of those flashbacks, trying to recount from your blackout evening on Saturday, standing here, something about the smell of Dick Norton's house, and her saying, search your pockets. And you remember...
search your pockets.
Yeah.
Search your pockets.
You remember Norton handing... I was about to say, you remember Norton handing you, or something, a folded piece of paper, and you slipped it in your pocket Saturday evening between shots.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
What?
You gave me an idea.
I did?
And I'm just going to reach into my pocket and pull out...
What's in it? Is this the same jacket you wore Saturday night, is the real question.
Oh.
Do you have a favorite jacket?
I wonder if I only have one jacket because I'm still so new.
That's fine. We
like
could.
a secret.
And you're
It
kind of
looks
a
like
hippie. Like, what hippies have a bunch of, tailored suit jackets?
Yeah.
So, sure enough, you reach in. We'll say this is your nice jacket. You reach in the pocket, and there's something crumpled up, a piece of paper, not larger than, a half an 8.5 by 11, so kind of like an A4 style.
Stationary. I'm remembering now from my booze memory.
And
he gave me this. Let's read together.
What is it? Yes.
It's a horrible yellow color. The paper is this like bad 70s yellow. And as you peel it,
it even has a watermark.
As you kind of unfold it was folded in force. As you unfold it, both of you stare at a flyer that says "Citywide Suit Sale, Giant Warehouse Clearance."
Citywide suit sale.
I
haven't heard anything.
Wait a minute. What if this is the event he was talking about? From my other drunk memory.
The date is today. The time was exactly. It opened up at 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Well, that's where you I'd known about this.
It's held down at the docks.
We need to go. We need to contact the others and get down there.
Yes, I have a plan. Come with me.
Coming. Okay.
And,
and so
yeah.
Sorry, we go outside to the front of his house. What I'd like to do, since I'm so close to nature, and just like do a nature check of maybe like one of those weird moments where you call upon nature to come in, and I want to give
what kind of a come to me jungle friend?
Come to me, my child, my children. I have a message to
do
give
some
old
animal
man Bernie.
calls or something.
The conch shell.
Okay.
Or perhaps send a message upon whispering on the wind.
So how exactly? Yeah. So you tell me exactly what this looks like.
The moth from the thing. You're like whisper, like Gandalf.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a moth, like come here, moth. I'm just gonna whisper to the moth, like, go find our friends. Tell them of our plan to go to the warehouse. We found, like I'm giving it all this information.
Okay,
and go.
And you send it off, and the moth, almost in a depth, like, as it takes off, and you hear this funky 70s music play as it almost juxtaposes the page. Yeah, and it's like,
right.
you know, and it's like flapping as fast as it can off into the depths. So you used a fate point to send a moth off to alert the rest of your team.
Right.
Now, you need to tell me exactly what you told the moth. Like, what did you... Okay, so you say, Mr. Moth, go tell them that you need help?
I'm going to tell the moth that we have a big lead, and that the lead is that this warehouse, we're going to, Jennifer and I will be going to this warehouse and give the destination of the warehouse.
Okay, you give the address?
Yeah, I give the address of the warehouse. Meet us as soon as you can.
Okay. And the moth kind of flutters off. We'll see how much of it actually manages. Did you need to roll anything for that? There was no roll on it, was it? It was just a straight stunt with no roll.
Yeah, I guess it was. Well, the thing I wanted to use there was that since me and Old Man Bernie, we had kind of decided that we were weekend storm chasers, that maybe I have a connection with him, like we're like storm brethren or something. Like
And you can... Okay. So we'll say this. Yeah, we'll say then it is the camera that follows the moth over the city of Philadelphia, riding the funky sounds of the soundtrack as it flutters about, dodging through trash and alleyways, getting lost in traffic, almost smashing into a car windshield on its epic journey across Philadelphia. And we cut actually to the three of you exiting the newspaper, the Philadelphia, which one was it? The Inquirer, the Philadelphia Inquirer space. And as you hit these beautiful marble stoops, Mr. Bernie, you thought it was just the stars you're still seeing from having your fucking teeth knocked out, but you realize it's actually a moth that's like fluttering around your head. It's like...
Oh, wait a minute there. I know what happens when a moth flutters around my head all suspicious like. That means Dallas is trying to get a message to me. Come here, you...
And
speak to me, my fuzzy-winged friend.
As you say that, the music begins to fade out, and the moth...
And then, yeah, keep going. Fantastic.
So, I am gonna need you to roll for something here, because you... I mean, I don't think that there's like a language to speak moth. But we'll do an empathy roll, since you and Weatherman have such a connection. This is going to be an empathy roll.
I have a blank spot. I will put empathy in it.
Beautiful.
+2. I roll a 2.
Okay, great. That was a rapport. Did it? Make sure you click the wrong dice, or right dice.
Empathy.
Oh, even better, even better. And sure enough, the moth, clear as day, whispers Dallas's message to you. You can almost hear it in Dallas's voice, tiny and minute, as it whispers, "We're headed to the docks. Here's the address. Something's going on. We think we found the Anchorman," kind of a thing. And he kind of whispers it off to you, and then the moth flutters through your fingers and away. And as the moth flutters away, the three of you are left standing on the stoop to make your final decision of where you're headed.
Matthias, Mr. King, I just got a direct message from the flying moth that Dallas sent using the magic of his nature witchcraft. We have to get in this van and get down to the docks to the warehouse where we believe that the weatherman, or that of course the weatherman's going to be there, it's Dallas, and the Anchorman has been snatched up and placed. Do you understand?
My God.
Yes, let's go.
All right. To the newsmobile.
And you guys head to the newsmobile, of course, this horrible van, and you guys can continue to have a conversation while you travel. Do roll me a drive, Mr. Bernie. You've taken quite a lot of damage. Let's just make sure that there's
6.
Okay,
Yeah.
beautiful. Yep, nailing it. You drive deftly through traffic, to the location.
Get out of the way!
Yeah. But what do the three of you discuss while you're in the van?
So let me get this straight. Dallas has the power to send messages through a moth?
Yes, I am not drunk.
My God, maybe he's a real weatherman after all.
He can be. That's crazy talk. But if he's a real weather-man, does that mean?
That means he's at least 1/4 the man an Anchorman is.
Well, at the very least, we know he's some sort of Mothman.
Yes. It's true.
Let's not get too carried away.
Yeah, it's a Mothman, weatherman. It's all kinds of man, but he's not quite the anchor yet. I mean, he cannot keep the ship from moored during the storm, but he is the storm.
Yeah. And it is there that, as you say that, the camera pans through the back of the van, out the back window again, giving this skyline view of the city of Philadelphia. As it pans away, a song plays, a funky little tune, and a narrator's voice comes into being. It speaks with a candor, that of an anchorman. And it says, "It seems that our production team has found its way, together and then apart again, searching for their beloved Anchormen. Will they find them? Did they, in fact, get kidnapped? Or did they simply get lost at the local suit sale? We will not know until next week's episode of Fate of the Anchorman." And the funky music continues to play as credits begin to roll. And that is where we're actually going to end tonight's episode. I feel like everybody convening back together at the warehouse is like the prime place, so I'm not going to push that any later, actually. I believe wholeheartedly in ending when the story ends. So, I actually want to take some time here at the end, and go around to cast and crew. It's our first episode. Some of you, your first time playing Fate, which I know is a very different system than you may be used to. Maybe you liked it, maybe you didn't, but I hope you tell me about it. So let's go around to cast and crew. Let everybody know what you're up to and where they can find you online. Their handles are there, and you guys can feel free to drop links in chat, as well. And chat out there, why don't you guys show all these awesome people some love? Toss out some emotes. If you're a subscriber to the channel, you know you get my like evil, fierce, and sass emotes, I believe, so you can toss out some little red dot love. So first up, let's go backwards actually and start with Mr. Rimley Farr.
Hey everyone, it's Rim here. Had a blast tonight. Like I said, we've been looking forward to this ever since that long drive to Gen Con and a long drive back, so it's great to finally see this come to fruition. Once again, I'm Rimley Farr online. Here's my website and my Twitter handle. I write D&D adventures. I got one coming out that I wrote with Jeff Stevens, the Madhouse of Tasha's Kiss, coming to the DM's Guild. And I'm actually working on a project for the Adventures League, so I'll have an official Adventures League adventure hitting the market soon. But other than that, if you have a really good idea, I can make it happen.
That's a true story. It's why I keep him around.
Sorry.
Awesome, thanks, Rim. And of course, Mr. Bernie, which reminds me of like every grandpa ever both of my grandfathers were as crotchety and ridiculous as he was. So thanks again, man. And Mr. Adam Jones.
Oh, hey, that's me. Oh, I had a fantastic time. I've never played this system, but it's a lot of fun, and I'm really enjoying this set of characters here. I think everybody's just a blast to play with and doing such a great job. So I'm just happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm so stoked you're here. I know you and I have been talking forever about just like gaming together.
Yes.
And there's nothing that gets me more hyped than Fate Core. So you've kind of found me in my prime.
I can see that. I can see why. I think I can appreciate the versatility of the system.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
see what you do with it moving forward.
Yeah, I'm really excited. You guys picked up actually on a lot more this game than I expected you to, and like peaked at like, man, you were like right on it. Call the other news station, and I was like, well, goes that idea. But you guys did great. I really, really liked it. And of course, it's a total pleasure to get to actually game with you here. Because even though you're coming onto the North by Northwest podcast, we're actually not going to be playing in the same storyline. So we're again like 1 degree of separation.
It is a tragedy. We're always so close to gaming together, but never quite there.
Yep, so close. So I'm really glad you decided to do this. So thank you.
Yeah, but you can find me on the Twitters at Meet Adam Jones. And listen to the Loot and Dagger podcast. And I guess you can listen to the North by Northwest podcast, but it's really not worth it until you get to the season 3 side quest. That's when it gets good.
That would be the one coming up. Cough, cough.
Yes, so that's really all for me right now. But again, I'm really happy to be here. Thanks, everybody.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you, Adam. And Fuzzy.
Hello. Yes, I'm Fuzzy Freaks. Hi, I'm Fuzzy. I do streamy thing. This has been brilliant, by the way. Although I am discovering just how high maintenance 70s hair is, and I am not enjoying it. It's my hair is crunchy. It's not good. It's awful. But yeah, I really enjoyed it tonight. And I've met lots of interesting people, and that's good. But yeah, where was I? Yeah, so I'm Fuzzy. You can find me on. Hang on. This place, twitch.tv/Fuzzy Freaks, where I do a lot of variety streaming and stuff, and also I do a lot of different RP games. I'm in a Sunless Skies Skyfarer game on Saturday, like a one shot, and that's going to be
yeah, very cool.
I bought a pipe and everything. It's going to be great.
Oh. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Yes, Fuzzy's a new friend, but definitely a keeper. I adore playing with you. You have such. I'll tell you, it's really hard to find people that can match my energy. And the moment I met you, I was like, she can.
That'll be the caffeine.
She can. I got you. I hear that. No, but I'm really excited you're here, and I'm glad you're enjoying Fate. I really am.
Yeah, it's much better than the last game I played that was in Fate, which was the Dresden Files, which is just kind of a mess.
I think part of it too, you give and take, and I think what I like about Fate Core, because I've played some other Mad Hat stuff or Evil Hat stuff, but Fate Core tends to be a little simpler, I find, and the rules are easier for me as a GM to just be like, that one, just toss it out. That one's not necessary.
So I don't know what it is about the Dresden Files, but it's just a little bit more convoluted and opaque. So
I would agree. I would totally agree. Well, I'm glad that Fate Core is working out a little bit better for you. That makes me feel great. So thanks, Jacko buddy.
Hey, man, this is super duper fun. It's hard to tell with his mustache, but I've been watching the whole time. This is great. I love the all the Anchorman vibe. I just love the constant ragging on like the newspapers, and then of course Mr. King just ragging on Matthias, the writer, the whole time. I just love all the just the little Anchorman one-liners and stuff, and then of course
so good.
Dallas having just his breakdown, whatever it is. Super fun. This is my first time doing Fate, and I'm super impressed in that just how versatile it is. That we took this system and it just works for doing Anchorman. And that's so crazy that it just clicks so perfectly. So I think it's a real cool system.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I really am. I love introducing people to it. Like, I've played everything in Fate Core from, like, an origin story, 50s style, like, Golden Age superhero type thing to, like, I'm planning a Brave Little Toaster game using it. So, it's just, like, the options are endless. I just love it. So I'm glad you picked up on that because it really is super versatile.
Yeah, that's really cool. So this is real fun. I can't wait to see where it goes. And people who want to can follow me on Twitter at JackoBuddy. And also on Twitch. On Tuesdays, I'm on the Reliant Games stream, which is actually a company that I own that does like podcasting and tabletop RPG stuff. And then on Thursday nights, I am on the Unmade Gaming channel for the Island in the Sky campaign, which Little Red Dot is also a part of. And that's been a super mega fun Best Friends Club game.
Oh my god, that game is a blast. You should check it out.
It's fantastic. I love it. So yeah, people can follow me those places if you want and come talk RPGs and stuff.
For sure. Thank you. Yeah. And like I said, you can toss all those links out if you want to. And last but certainly not least, the Weatherman himself.
Hello. I'm having a blast with this system and everyone playing. Like everyone else said, like this is super versatile and kind of like you kind of get the idea of like, how about if I just do this and you can kind of do whatever you want with it. And I think that's great instead of sometimes with like Dungeons and Dragons, you just have a set skills and you have some set things you can do. So I'm really enjoying the system here. But this game is pretty awesome. I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying everybody involved too. This is like my first streaming thing I've ever done. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun.
Glad I could welcome you to the channel.
Yeah, no, thank you. So anybody who wants me to stream with them at all, I'm digging this.
Got a camera and a mic now. Yeah,
I got a camera, I got a mic. What else do I need? So yeah, but I'm having a ton of fun. I hope everybody else is having as much fun as me. So you can find me at I am Stiver, or obviously on Twitter, and obviously I'm part of Loot and Dagger podcast, so you can find Loot and Dagger podcast wherever podcasts can be found.
Awesome. Yeah, again, it makes me very thrilled to hear that you're all liking Fate, and that it's been kind of an easy move into it. I don't like overwhelming people with new systems, so I'm glad it's been digestible, to say the least. Well, I'm Little Red Dot. This is my channel. I don't do a slew of tabletop RPGs here. I'm not like a giant network. I actually play on a lot of other networks. So I'll run through my list really quick. You can catch me every other Monday night over on a Princess of Apocalypse campaign at Nerd Immersion. On Wednesdays, you can check out the North by Northwest podcast that comes out in the mornings, where all podcasts are found. Probably right next to the Loot and Dagger crew. And you can listen to both of us, because we love each other. And on Thursdays, I am, like Jack said, over there on Unmade Gaming's channel playing Island in the Sky. On Fridays right now, I'm playing Queen of the Spiders over on Greyhawks. On Saturdays, you can check me twice in the day, once on Roll For It in Vampire the Masquerade, and in the evening, I DM a orc campaign on the Greyhawk channel called The Birthright of the Pomage. And I haven't been able to announce it yet, but I have a special Sunday game that is coming up using the Cypher system. So you can see me over on Monty Cook's channel, actually starting in 2 weeks. So that's my spiel. That's all the stuff I do. If you want to keep up with what I do, the easiest thing to do is follow me on social. So I've got lots of different places. I keep my schedule up on Twitter. But if you don't really like the social media, you might prefer Discord, which is a little bit more personal. I have a great Discord community. All of these people are a part of it. So if you want to chat with them about their characters, there's a channel to do that right there on my Discord. So come hang out. I love having new people in. It's a cool place. If you like tabletop RPGs, we just launched 3 new channels, or text-based tabletop RPGs. We just launched 3 channels. You can come join a text-based game if you prefer. And sign-ups for my Sunday Fun Days are found there in my Discord. So if you want to play right here on my channel for some mimosa-filled Sundays, you can do that there on my Discord. Other than that, I want to thank everybody for showing up. Again, I am raising funds to actually publish Fate of the Anchorman, the build out or the guide to be able to use this via Fate Core. And you can donate to that and get yourself a PDF copy by buying me a cup of coffee. That's simple. So you can go to my Ko-Fi right there and do that. I think that's it for me. I'm going to be taking a break actually starting tomorrow. I'm going on a 5-day trip, so those of you that are in my Discord, follow me on social. I'm going to be MIA for about 5 days, so don't fret. I've not been kidnapped. I am literally going off the grid. So I'm going to go have a little bit of fun. I'll be back, and you can see me actually in some really cool surprise stuff on... what is that, next Monday? I'll be doing 2 random streams. One over on my friend Josh's channel, playing through a Masquerade campaign, Vampire the Masquerade. I know, so excited. I'll be doing that one with Fuzzy, so I'll be making posts about that. And then right after that, I'm playtesting a brand new game. And I'll be posting some more information. I don't want to ruin too much. They haven't put out the public announcement, but some fun things coming up on my return from my vacation. Lots of tabletop RPG, lots of ways to become involved. So yeah, reach out, let's chat, and remember, everybody, don't take things too seriously. Life's a lot more fun when you don't. Until next time, we'll see you right back here next Wednesday for Fate of the Anchorman. Bye, everybody!